Okay. Yeah, hey, see, there we are.
Hmm,
With
there
our
we
new
go.
minimalist background.
Oh, wow.
La-di-da.
That's right. This is what you get when you spend a lot of time artsily thinking about what's the best way to do this, or if you just have 15 minutes to get it done. One of the two. They're
One
remarkably
of the two.
similar, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
one just involves more BSing than the other. So we're gonna go with. I didn't have a lot of time to put things together today, so because that involves less BSing.
I don't know. I like the darkness and mystery with this background.
Yeah.
What's
Who
actually
knows?
happening? Nobody knows.
This is the sort of thing where I could have like hidden images in the background that I could then pop up at any time if I needed them to.
Yeah. Startle us all.
So, uh, but I mean, I might now have Saruman stats, so who knows?
Wait, who's?
Yeah, it's an in joke now, but
Who's?
Saruman, isn't that where you guys are going?
Oh,
That's what I
right. He's a
heard.
good guy right now.
Yeah.
I feel like he's more strongly neutral.
Well, let us begin by discussing the state of the world. There are rumors of shades in the north of Arthedain along the border. It doesn't help that Arthedain appears to have been in a little bit of a internal power struggle.
Hooray.
Hooray, internal power struggle. And the there's rumors back from the Shire that Shire is like preparing for war. That would be
What?
interesting.
Oh, jeez.
Excuse me
With
for a
who?
moment.
I mean, if
Okay,
I guess if they have to.
I mean, them in their frying pans. They mean business.
I mean, we have other things to worry about,
I mean,
so
word
like
on
they
the
can do
street-
what they want, right?
Word on the street is that those northwestern kingdoms are frickin' falling apart. So
Well,
Shire better be ready to. Good that they're getting ready.
but the important thing as you head south along the Anduin on your journey is that there appears to be war in the east on the Rovanian plains, as the
Wait a minute.
Osdrogs and the Eothraim have started some stuff going on. So we're going
Wait
to
a minute.
resolve a
That's where I'm
battle.
from.
That's right. So you're going to get to roll dice for them.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey. News to me.
Hey.
How exciting.
Vidugavia has sent his forces into the realm of Tros Hesnoth, and they have decided to start a little bit of a power struggle there.
Does anybody have a good map for this area?
So you'd be looking at
one that-
south of the Sea of Rune is where this is happening, which should be available on most maps.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
So there are about 1,000 Eothraim in one of the tribes that's starting this fight, and the Asdrogs have about 600. Other than that, they're pretty similar. They're both horse nations that are relatively militaristic. So it turns out there's not a lot of difference in the battle rating between the two. After we assign homeland and ratio of troops, it looks like the Eothraim are ahead by 6 points.
All right.
Luckily for the Eothraim, they had some good intel.
Oh, that's
So
good. That's good.
they're going to get to choose their tactic based on what the what the Asdrogs are doing. Give me a second as I need to decide what they're doing. So, Alred, you get to be our Eothraim in name only. Or, I mean, In more than name? I don't know. One of the two.
Alrighty.
So you get to kind of choose. It looks like they've decided to try and trap you. Trap the
Well, I don't think
Eothrame.
that doesn't seem like something I want to have happen.
So do you want to attack plus, which is a charge, a normal attack, envelope, hold, or withdraw?
Oh boy. Haha. so many people's fates rely on this decision.
Right, thousands of your own kinsfolk will rely upon whether you do this the best way for everybody. That is correct.
So they're attempting
pressure.
to envelop us, right?
To trap you, yeah, to lure you in someplace and then slaughter you.
Oh, I see. They're trying to lay a trap.
Yeah. I hear that the ruler of Eothrame says you should choose wisely.
Something like that, yeah.
I noticed. You said I can charge. I can
Normal
attack
attack.
normal.
You can envelope the trap.
Envelope.
If you try to trap them and they try to trap you, nothing happens, just to be clear.
Right.
That's we hung out for a while and nobody fell into our trap.
Or I could run away.
You could withdraw, or you could just hold, which doesn't seem like a reasonable option. It's another one of those, we just won't go into it and won't get into fight.
I think envelop seems like a good option then.
Ooh,
Okay.
trying to turn the tables.
So,
Could you split your forces and have some attack and the rest
I think maybe that's what enveloping is.
envelop?
no,
So you're going to go trip the trap, but
yeah, we're not that complicated.
okay.
That means that you're going to get an extra plus 20 points,
That
but
seems good.
casualties around the board are going to be a little bit less limited, less casualty, which
All right.
is probably okay. So now you're going to need to roll percentile dice.
Alrighty. Wish I had legit percentile dice with me, but I'll make it work. I want to roll high, right?
Yes, hi.
Okay. Let's see how I do. 70. Oh. 70. I rolled 70. 70 seems like a nice high number.
Okay, they got a 47.
All right.
So that's gives in the end about a 59-point plus to the side of the Eothrame. That's good.
Yeah, that seems positive.
Well, that looks like a pretty bloody battle.
Oh.
20% casualties on the winning side, which is reduced to 10, so that's good.
Oh, hey, that's not too bad.
And 40% on the losing side. But both armies are fatigued, and but you manage to. They have to retreat, so it's a decided victory for the Eothrame.
Of course it is.
Huzzah!
You're not fired.
Oh boy.
To keep your job.
Well, if the war with the Azurags and Eothrame continues, Alred might get to do some more rolling there.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It is your folks, your people, that are going on. The so that's taken care of. Give me 1 second to make sure I record the results and I don't.
Conveniently forget.
Yeah. Screw the horse lords.
And then we will move into our journey that we have ahead of ourselves today. Okay. There we are. So, when we left our adventurers last time, they had started the journey down the Anduin, but had not completed it. We have a couple of events that will happen in the interim here. which is good. So we should quickly recap what happened last time. You went to Lorien. You talked to Gladriel. They went more or less okay. You got some items.
Great.
You left your darkest of dark elf behind, along with her wraith brother's body, and gained another elf named Gliriel.
Yeah, we did.
What could go wrong?
So it seems like every 2 sessions I just make another female elf to run around with the party. So far so good. But all statted up and ready to go in case you guys run into anything.
Yay.
She's officially with you. You've spent some time with her, so she seems a little bit in the longing for the sea kind of elf, and worried that you might never be able to fully fight the darkness and the shadow. She has seen much of it in her time.
All right.
Probably like 4 times my age. I'm sure it's fine.
All right, Debbie Downer. Jesus.
She's like 100 times my age. I'm sure it's fine.
Hey, Alred, that just means that if you prove her wrong, you're a badass.
That's right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Then Galadriel's stern talking to be damned.
Yeah. I just got to destroy
Yeah.
some evil, some
She
shadow.
doesn't know what she's talking about. All right.
Galadriel.
Nervous chuckles from the humans involved with elves. Go.
I'm sure it'll go fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Everything's
Oh.
fine. God.
Listen, I saw a man and an elf deny themselves their obvious attraction to each other, and it was ugly. It's not a fun thing to watch.
Okay.
It's an odd story coming from you, Willett.
It's a
What?
great story coming from you, Willett. Tell us more stories.
Okay,
Oh,
in
maybe
character.
later. Maybe later. It's not my story to tell.
Well, if you remember, you had just passed the rapids of Sarngebra and were heading down further south. You have gotten off the river and have just started your journey down along the Ithilian towards the cities.
Yep.
When you run into encounter agents of the enemy,
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
the good
I'll
news
be in
for
the cart.
Oh, great.
The good news for you is that you had a good embarkation, so you get advantage. But this is one of those in traditional Lord of the Rings way. You see dark birds coming your direction that look suspicious and angry. Creebane,
Those.
they might say. Things that lore masters of Shadow would know right away, which is mostly Nestriel at this point. A little bit of Willard.
My elf eyes see them and I go, oh shit, get ready.
It is time for a
Because we're
lookout.
in boats.
Who was our lookout? Do anybody remember?
Was
Someone.
it me?
Who's got good perception?
Because I have a 10 in perception in the wilderness. I think I'm the one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I think
correct.
It was you, 'cause I was guiding.
Yes, you have the advantage on or expertise on
Yes,
wilderness
it's
perception.
definitely her.
Sorry. Then that is a 26.
So that's way above your target number, much to no one's surprise. And you see them coming.
I pointed out to everybody and I draw out my bow and arrow.
Well, there's nowhere to hide to let them peaceably pass over us and, not give away where we are, right?
That is correct. Well,
Like,
I mean,
open.
you're in the Ithilian, excuse me. So you're probably near like a copse of trees or something like that. If you wanted to try that.
So we're floating down the river at the moment.
Do we want to try that, or do we want to attack the scary shadow birds and totally let somebody know where we are?
Yeah, I
No,
really
you
don't know
can
how to
hide.
attack birds.
Somebody who's probably very angry with us for stealing their dark helps.
Right.
We're on the
I vote hiding.
Hiding? I would also vote hiding. I'm very
I
good
agree.
at being stealthy. All right, To the shore, please.
Okay, everyone should make a stealth check for me then. And whoever's handling the boats,
I guess I will handle. I'll help handle the boats.
is
What
at
is
disadvantage on their
handle the
stealth.
boats?
Oh, really? That's great.
Well,
Um,
you
they
don't
are
want me to handle the boats.
elf boats, so I will also help handle the boats.
Okay. So then my stealth, because I have disadvantage, I am at a whopping 9.
Oh, stupid
Woo.
disadvantage. I had a 19 as my first roll. Sad
Oof,
day.
that's rough.
Well, I'm still very stealthy,
You
so
got this. It's fine.
I am not. I got a 12.
I got a 15 overall.
Oh, wait, I forgot to sorry.
15 total.
It's actually 12 because math is hard, apparently.
Mhm.
Math is hard.
I got a 26.
Hey!
well,
Way
to
it
go,
Will.
disappears.
Nobody
Disappears.
saw you.
Due to difficulty of journey, the DC was 14 for all of those, so some of you were close, but not quite there. That actually includes Gliriel, who surprisingly enough only got a 13.
Wow.
She's too busy staring at Allred, man.
Apparently, making eyes at each other.
I'm gonna guess it had to do with trying to help the horse off of the boat in a hiding place.
Yeah.
It seems like that was a little complicated and difficult. Okay, so the birds, like, they kind of, you're seeing them coming your direction. They kind of swoop over to your side, like they might have seen something in that direction, like a boat or something. Right about when that happens, another bird, a much bigger bird, which was obviously circling higher above or something, comes careening down out of the sky and just nails one of the Creebane in a flurry of feathers as they kind of like do one of those, then like kind of tumbles out of the sky towards the river.
Whoa.
Hey, that's a distraction if I've ever seen one. Quickly, get in the woods.
Yep.
They'll go away eventually. With my elven eyes and their lovely amount of precision and accuracy, can I tell what kind of bird that much larger bird is? Is it what I think it is? What I hope it is?
It is in fact an eagle, but not a great eagle.
Well, it's still
big
good. So
Just a regular eagle.
Yeah.
Regular.
okay.
Both it and the Creebane hit the water, but it's only in the water for like a second or two, and mostly on the surface before it takes off again, and flies back up towards the birds, scaring them off.
Well, that was lucky.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're still pretty sure they saw something, but they obviously didn't get a chance to take a great, long look at it.
Saw some.
Is the eagle
some
still
boats
hanging
on the
out?
water.
The eagle does a couple more swoops and then flies right towards you all.
Yay!
Oh, shit.
I step out and offer it my arm to land on.
Wow, that's quite brave of you.
Yep.
What?
I'm getting land.
It
Step.
swoops
Freaking
right in
helps,
towards
man.
your arm, and then swoops by you and lands on
Aw.
Gundir's shoulder.
Yay!
Hey! That makes more sense, though, actually.
Nice.
For like 2 seconds, I look very disappointed and then recover.
How's it going, animal friend?
So Gundir, you notice that the eagle has like a thing tied to its leg.
Ooh,
Like
is
a
this for
message
me?
thing. Yeah.
I'll take a look at the message.
Good news for you, it's waterproof.
Oh, good. Good.
that would
Dear
be bad.
Gundir. It's all waterlogged. I can't read this.
It says blub 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 blub.
All right, what does it say?
I'm messaging you that now. There.
Ooh, it's a secret message.
Ooh.
What?
We all
What
stand
secret message?
in trepidation as Gundir reads a message from a crazy-ass eagle. How did it know where to find you?
Probably gonna.
Because it's an eagle, dude. Come on, get it together.
I'm gonna take like a piece of meat out and like offer it for the eagle because it's kind of cool looking. Here,
It's a good idea.
Eagles can
Yeah.
just do that?
like
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, you know. He worked for it. He earned it.
I mean, if you want to offer the eagle
No,
some
I
meat, I'll
mean-
pick you up.
Gundir, is that something that can be
Nestriel.
used?
Oh, Mr. What?
Like, can you tell it to find anybody?
Probably.
What did the message say?
Well, the message is basically telling me that I need to get my ass back up north.
Wait, north is the opposite way of the direction we're heading.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well,
Who's it from?
it's from Urza. She's
Oh.
she's apparently got something real important she needs me to help out with, and well, I don't really have an option to not do that. So, but I think we should probably still find Saruman and deal with that first, and then I'll get my ass back up north.
That might actually have something to do with what I saw in the Mirror of Erised. Ursa has our lovely coffin that we left behind. It appears
Oh.
she took it from the orc band.
Oh,
What?
So that might be what that's about if she didn't tell you that. Now you know.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Well, if that's, I mean, that's probably is what it is then.
Nice. I was going to suggest we go see her after this anyway, depending on what information Saruman gives us.
All right then. Well, it sounds like we got a plan. I'll go ahead and write a quick little note. That says, "K, be there soon."
The very rude part of me wants to be like, Gundir knows how to write, but
That hurts.
I mean,
My spelling is bad, but I do know how to write.
The shameful thing to try to send somebody a message by eagle when they can't read.
I can't read this. Oh God. So I'll just send a reply that says we have to find. We're trying to get some information from Saruman, but as soon as we're done, we'll head straight north. Promise.
well, hopefully nothing we learned from Saruman changes those plans.
It's fine. I'm sure it won't.
What do wizards know, anyways?
What a wizard!
About as much as Galadriel, too.
I liked Galadriel. She was very nice.
She was very nice.
A little smug, but nice.
Food was excellent. You have any idea how old? No, not even gonna. She has a
Who
right to
she
be
is,
smug, Gundir.
Like she's been around the block before. God.
Just, since almost the beginning, it's fine. I only hold her in incredibly high regard, and I just disturbed. It's fine. I'm not mad. Just get back on the boats.
I'm just pulling your leg.
Nestriel, would you like to make another short joke about Willid before we leave?
No.
Well, you can. I mean, it's been a tall time. Yeah, shit. I'm sorry.
Why don't
Well,
we
you
just continue?
Yeah. Everybody's. This is. I purposefully trip getting into the boat, but I try to make it look like I did it on accident.
What, like into the water, or?
No, into the boat. Like I trip into the boat
Oh no.
in like mid sentence. But I'm gonna do a deception check.
What in the world?
It's
is
very
going on?
good, actually.
And we counter that with insight?
Passive perception.
Sure.
This isn't.
Oh,
This is an actual perception thing, not insight.
That's a 17.
Ah,
what's-
dang it.
What's our passive perception?
It is your wisdom plus 10. Your
Got it,
wisdom
got it.
proficiency,
modifier.
yeah.
Well, your proficiency in perception plus 10.
So Thump, will it falls into the boat?
Got one more than needed to deceive me.
Okay, Twinkle Toes.
Uh-huh.
You okay?
I'm good. I'm good. See? We got this.
I caught him
Am I
on the back of
sicker?
the shoulder. You don't want to be tumbling into the water. Can hobbits even swim?
It's rumored that we can, though I've never tested it out personally.
Probably
Wait.
a little bit better than the dudes
Wait.
in full armor.
Willard.
Hmm.
Willard, we've been traveling by boat for quite a while now, and you don't know how to swim?
Well, I don't know if I know how to swim. There's a
That means you
difference.
don't know how
Maybe
to
we
swim.
should tie a rope to him.
Oh, goodness.
We can pull him out like a fish. In case he
I
does.
think I could do it. I could probably do it. It looks easy.
Yeah. A rope? Does anybody have an extra rope?
Well, I'm not afraid of falling in. As long as this boat is here, I'll be fine.
Yeah, but none of us
Okay.
can really jump in the water and save you.
I wouldn't say none of us. I'm pretty sure Gundyr can handle
I'm pretty
some
sure on
rapids.
my feet.
I'd jump in the water to save him. Come on.
Look
I
at
think I
those
can-
muscles on that nicely. You know what? He could probably swim. That's all I'm saying.
Gundyr, or are we still talking
I
about
hold up
Willie?
my feet. They're like little
Gundyr.
flippers.
Okay.
They're like little flippers.
Yeah, but the hair is gonna weigh him down.
Wow.
No. It adds to the. It helps.
It's not
It helps keep
aerodynamic.
you
But
buoyant. It helps keeps you on top of the water. You know.
so it like kind of traps like air bubbles in your hairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Unsure of the strange human ritual occurring before her, Gliriel says, I too can swim.
This is very good. You do look like you
Nice.
would be a strong swimmer.
Way to
Looks
go.
like you grew up bathing in pools of glistening, glowing water.
Yes?
I look at Willard and I like go down to him.
Ha! All red.
You shouldn't be hitting on
Oh, man.
Good job, Alarin.
You know who can
Sit down.
really swim? Allred. Yeah, that guy can.
Weren't we hiding from
Swim
bad guys just
I mean,
to
we
look
kind
out?
out of that lake
I'm,
over there. He can
I am
do-
pretty sure I can swim
Where'd
pretty
those
well.
bad guys go?
Where the bad
Swim pretty
guys-
girl. I mean, pretty good.
You can swim
Swim pretty good. Anybody? Atlantis? Okay, got it.
Girls like guys
Yes.
with swimming skills.
That's what swimming skills. I'm assuming
Oh.
swimming does. Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, we're in the boat.
Well, we've gotten
Yeah,
into a
let's get
boat so far.
Best RP group ever.
I thought that this journey mechanic's supposed to shorten our journeys, but I could be wrong.
Clearly, you haven't been playing with us enough, Greg.
Well, I mean, there's obviously like a 5-minute interval for boat shenanigans.
Hey, so I realized this the other day. We've been traveling with Willard for a little while now, and we have slept with him around. He has slept with us around, and back on episode 0, we agreed to watch how he slept and see if there was any inconsistencies or weird shadowy shenanigans. Have we noticed any of that yet?
So he does not sleep well at all. Like he's almost always like tossing and turning when he sleeps. But you've not noticed him like become a wraith and get up and stab anybody, or
Thank goodness.
or
So no
like
negative
eyes glowing
coming
blue
from
or
him?
anything like that.
Not miming.
So nothing like creepily evil that I feel when I see him when he sleeps.
Sometimes he mutters in a language you don't understand.
So
Do I
what kind
understand
of, since we're trying to get to know each other and stuff, what kind of languages do you know?
Me?
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm only fluent in I guess Westernese or whatever they call it. The tongue of the West, men of the West, and I don't know. Do hobbits have that? I don't think hobbits have their own tongue. I'm not sure.
They have a dialect,
No.
but it's the same thing.
But I know a lot of Sindarin. I'm not quite fluent in it. It takes me a moment. And then I speak a handful of words from dark speech and a handful of words. Oh, yeah, all sorts of languages. Got to pick up the basics.
Why do you speak dark speech?
Okay, so it's a long story. And then I launch into some story about my parents accepting help from some weird guy who'd been infected with a thing, and he was shouting in a strange language. And from that moment, realized he was talking dark speech, and we had to learn the few words. Yeah, I can't read it. Like I didn't recognize the symbols on the thing.
Wow, you had an interesting upbringing.
I guess.
Is that normal for a hobbit?
Well, sure. Yeah, I'm just I just picked up my parents. I apprenticed under them. I think that's pretty common. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Can I, while Willett is sleeping, when he mutters whatever it is that he's muttering that none of us understand, can I jot down the phonetic equivalent of that? So, like, I can't just hand it to somebody and be like, what does this mean? But, like, if they asked me, I could give a reasonable regurgitation of whatever it is that he said.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I will assume that over the time you've got like a couple of notes put together of, hey, I didn't understand that sentence. As a fellow scholar, though, you're pretty sure it's black speech or some derivative of it.
I have a vague understanding of that, but
right. So it's one of those ones where if you could work on it and kind of decode some of them. But he's also saying them kind of in that sleep mode, so it's sometimes difficult to understand even with the you're not 100% sure your phonetics are quite right, but
enough.
You still think you've heard it before and you think that's probably what it is.
Okay. I have a lot of notes of black speech shenanigans I need to dig into.
Well, if there's someone who would know that, it's Saruman.
Hey, I'm sure he loves people showing up and being like, hey, what's this innately evil language say for whatever reason?
So our plan right now is to go to Minas Ithil, and then we got to go to Saruman, and then we got to go back north to collect the thing. That is a task list. Okay.
I can almost guarantee you there's going to be little deviations on our way up.
But Gundir, what about with the eagle? Can you do that? Can you just have it track somebody down?
I mean, as long as it knows who it's tracking down.
How does it have to know them personally?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. Like, I think I recognize this eagle. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I know this.
You could very well recognize the eagle.
Oh.
I mean.
Oh yeah, no. Look at those. Look at these tail feathers right here. Yeah, this is. I know this guy. This guy.
Okay. Well, dang.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I mean, they make pretty good listeners, and I mean, if you want to try and give it a letter and see if he'll take it to whoever you want it to, it's no harm in trying. It's like maybe he can figure it out. He's a smart boy. He's a smart boy.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Do I have to show him something of my parents, like a dog or something?
Sure, go for it. Let's try it.
So you've got the eagle, and you're gonna have it sniff something that Willard's got, and then
get the scent.
Just kind of tell it to do the thing and send it off.
Yeah, get the scent. Make sure you get a nice.
I don't know if I brought anything. I would have to go home. Can we take an eagle to the Shire? You mind?
I gotta send this guy with the message I got on him. So.
Okay.
Well, maybe later. All right. Well, hopefully we'll be able to find another eagle, or hey, you come back. You come back when you're done, and we can hang out. I'll get you some fish.
Yeah.
And some.
Gotta find one and train it up.
Fish.
Okay, Gundyr, you get to roll animal handling then.
Yay, animal.
Can I assist him? Is
And
that okay?
that
No,
animal.
not really.
Dang.
This is just him playing with his bird.
I'm actually not too bad at it. That's going to be a not natural 20.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you think you've got. I mean, you send him off, no problem. With maybe he'll come back kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really have the synergy with the animals that Ursa does.
Oh God, no. Like, I am better than regular people, but yeah, it's hard to one up somebody who is a bear.
I mean, have you mentioned? Never mind. That's right. You're just talking to me. Are we get? One of
The
us
only
is in a
person
boat.
who knows. The only person who knows is Nistriel.
Oh,
Okay, so
the
Willard,
benefits of knowing.
you're in a boat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some other people are probably getting into a boat, and you're heading
Oh,
down
yeah.
the stream.
Going downstream. Rolling on a river.
Rolling.
Rolling,
Oh,
rolling.
no.
Rolling on a river.
Well, it's a big river, and it's really flat, so it's not particularly exciting at all. You're through all the exciting parts. You did, in
Mhm.
fact, have to, carry your boats around the Sarngever Rapids and then down the huge waterfall after
Right.
you went through the gates with the big, huge statues in them and that sort of thing. So now you're on your way to your last event before we get to Minas Ithil, which is called A Lingering Memory of Times Long Past,
Oh boy.
which I hear happens in Middle Earth, right? But what happens here
Perfect.
is that where you're supposed to get off the river is a place called Osgiliath.
Mhm.
And Osgiliath is in ruins. There is still this magnificent bridge that was carved by the ancient kingdom of Numenor and made there, and it still stands. But all around it is the ruined city that was destroyed during the Kinstrife about 200 years ago, and plunging what used to be the capital of Gondor into nothingness. And now they've moved over to Minas Anor on the Tower of the Sun, and then where you're headed, the Tower of the Moon, Minas Ithil. So that is quite a sight that none of you have seen before, because none of you've been this far south. So everybody, just make a wisdom check for me, DC 14. This is
Made
just
it.
a straight wisdom check, so there's not a proficiency that I'm aware of.
Yeah, nope.
15.
Ooh.
I did great, guys. I got a 3.
Ooh. Not last. Got a
Hot.
5.
Hot damn. I got a 14.
I didn't know people could build things like this. Holy crap.
So,
No.
so if you made it,
I've read about these, but
then you are inspired by the grandeur of what was possible in the ages of past and the wonders of the thing of Numenor, and you get inspiration.
Oh, okay.
So add an extra point of inspiration.
Apparently everyone else was like, oh, these buildings are okay, I guess. And I'm like, these buildings are fucking amazing.
Oh,
If you did
kind
not
of makes
make
sense
it,
though.
then
You're telling me that these aren't made of trees?
rock
No,
trees.
Gundyr.
Rock trees.
Rock trees grow in strange, very geometric formations, I hear.
Yes, the mountain trees.
If you didn't make it, then your gaze is drawn more to the runes around Osgiliath, and you're reminded of how men can destroy themselves, and that the shadow is working its magic to make it so that we do in fact fight against ourselves and destroy what was once beautiful and great.
yeah, these people need to learn how to take care of their buildings and stuff. What the heck? Look at that bridge is amazing, and look at this. Look at these ruins. What the heck is happening?
So is Willard the only one that failed? Or all red? Did you too?
Yeah,
I
I
also
failed.
Okay, so if you failed, you're making a corruption check.
Oh
Boy.
which is the same as a wisdom save, although some people get advantage against it, like, say, hobbits.
Mhm.
Yeah, advantage.
Your wisdom check would be the same number, so 14.
I passed that one, but I
Ah.
fall into a sullen silence.
I didn't pass it.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Hey, Allred, you get two corruption points, or shadow points, the
Oh
non-permanent kind.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Awesome. That's what I wanted for Christmas.
It's just the slow, inevitable crawl towards our own corruption and betrayal of all that is good in the world. So more than half of us
We can do
failed
this.
that.
We can come together.
So wait, who failed?
I
Alright.
did. I made the corruption save, but I failed the wisdom save. So at some point during this part, I am going to go sit next to Gundyr and just be quiet.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to Allred and I'm gonna like pat him on the shoulder and I look over at all the ruins and I give him an inspiring speech so he can roll a d6 because you can roll it after the roll. So hopefully this will help, maybe.
Oh,
And
that-
I tell him, you know what? Though people do get corrupted, look at the magnificence that we can create.
all right. Let's see if this helps. Let's see. I rolled 11 originally, and I just rolled a 4, so that's enough. Apparently, I am just inspired enough to not fall into complete despair.
Huzzah!
Killian coming in.
Yeah,
Clutch.
I keep forgetting that I have that. So
Yeah, it's good that somebody remembered that they had the warden ability.
Yeah, good job.
Nice. Perfect.
Thank you.
That's like the first positive thing. Killian. Wow.
I've done a couple of positive stuff. I can be positive when I want
Hey,
to. be.
Kellyanne had a positive.
She
I
actually
mean, that
laughed
was-
in Lorien, so
She did actually laugh in Lorien. It's like I'm gonna have to pick a new nickname.
I have a nickname.
I mean, it's just this is a clear improvement from when we first met. Is all I'm
I
saying.
mean, your nickname may or may not have been Strawberry Short Fuse.
Strawberry short fuse. And who came up with that?
I don't know, some guy. He was at the tavern and he was drinking. He was
He
drinking
was
a lot
very
of mead.
drunk. Yeah, he was really drunk. He wasn't
Probably about your height. Looked similar to you, but not really.
No,
No.
On warg helmet.
I saw
I
it.
walk.
He was fat and ugly, and nobody liked him.
Are you calling Gundyr fat and ugly?
No, shut up already.
Wait.
God.
Oh, wait.
I continue to walk off, like heading towards the direction we're supposed to keep going.
Good speech. Okay.
You tried, Willard. I appreciates that.
Well, it's now time for you to park those boats and head up the road to Minas Ithil and arrive at your location, your destination.
Yay.
I've got good news and bad news.
Uh-oh. Let's start with the bad news.
I mean, I always have good news and bad news, pretty much.
Let's
But
start with the good news.
it's
We're both
as,
bad.
as,
Go for bad.
as a GM, you should always have good news and bad news for your players, right? Because
Generally
True.
speaking, yes.
anyways, you
Just
got a
always fun.
+1 from last session stuff for your rifle roll, but the fact that over half of you failed the next roll means you got a -1, so now it's just even.
Ah, cool. Cool.
Nice.
That's pretty dope, I guess.
+2. So then we get +2.
So you get
Thank you.
-1 for hard terrain, and that's it for our modifiers for arrival. The guide was Gundyr or Alred. I don't remember which one of you, but one of you should
That
roll a
was me.
d8.
All right. I will roll a d8. 7.
That seems good.
You are grimly determined.
Sounds about right.
All right.
That's me on a daily basis.
You're grimly determined.
It's true though.
So Gundyr, you probably want to make a note here somewhere that you get a +1 on your next leaving embarkation roll,
Oh, okay.
which, in theory we might do even today, but we'll see. I did enjoy quite a bit knowing what the events were before we started. I mean, it's easy as a GM, right? So,
Right, that probably helps.
Mhm.
so there we are as we head up the hill, and you arrive at Minas Ithil. With the desire to for a audience with Saruman.
Yep. He's expecting us.
That's right.
Galadriel did say that she would tell him so.
We
So
should have Gundyr be the one that says, "No, he's expecting us with the helmet
No.
on."
Yes.
well, we
Oh,
are still
boy.
at a time where the gates of Minas Ithil are open rather than closed. Although
yes.
the Citadel
Progress.
is not as vibrant as it has been. This is our first opportunity to be in like an actual civilized area. It's not a huge city because most of the population is across the way up at Minas Anor, but there are still people who live here. There are taverns and uh, shops and stuff like that. A lot of them spread out outside the city as well as within the citadel itself. You talk to some guards right away about Saruman, or at least whenever you do, and they'll tell you that he's up in the citadel itself. So that's where you head. But if you wanted to like stop and hang out in an inn first before you headed up there, you have that opportunity.
We can always stop at a
I'm-
tavern when we're done.
Tired and hungry. Oh, never mind.
Look, we can
Well,
have
what
second
time of
breakfast
day?
when we're done.
Willard, would you like to ride on Dust Cart with me?
Am I not already?
So it's about 5 in the
Fair
evening-ish.
point,
So you're
Oren.
talking afternoon, but not late.
Ooh, okay. So dinner and then followed by supper. Gotcha.
Let's see.
I
Yeah.
tried to come off as like kind of aloof, but I rolled a 2. So I very much look uncomfortable to be around all these people. So I'm kind of like sticking close to the horse.
Same, Killian.
Sticking close to the horse.
We all
I don't-
gather around the horse.
I don't know why you look so uncomfortable around people. It's totally fine.
I
He's,
probably look a little uncomfortable too. I've never been in anything like this before.
I'm wearing my helmet, avoiding eye contact with human beings. So
Oh my goodness.
It
We-
hasn't been favorable for me for a while to be around people. And I leave it at that.
So just
So-
to look at that composition for a moment, right? Of the group, we have
This is
barbarian,
amazing.
horsemen, elves, 2 of them at the moment, and then the 2 people who you think would be good in civilization, Kellyan, who clearly is not, who's an actual person, and then so it's down to Willid as the person who actually likes or is likes spending time in cities, or has
There's
done
just
a
so
lot
much
of it.
going on. There's so much to pay attention to. So it's pretty great. I like it.
Uh,
It's
there-
distracting just the right way.
There are absolutely people who are like staring at the lot of you as you come in. It's hard to say whether they're staring more at Willid or the elves, except for it's totally the elves.
See, the thing I don't
Yeah.
know if Willard has realized that like when people stare at him in cities, like it's not a normal thing. He stares back, and I like he like looks at people. I'm like waving. I'm like, hi, hi everybody. So friendly. Everybody just stares you in the eye. Right.
Oh boy. Don't forget, we got a dude with a warg head and no shirt currently. So that should probably also draw a little bit of attention.
Maybe a little bit.
Oh, I mean,
So,
The only member of the
Kellyan,
party
you're
who's not-
probably very disguised in this group.
is Kellyan. Yeah,
Since you're
thank you.
like
In more
normal.
ways than one.
I was going the exact same way. That Kellyan actually looks really normal compared to every other member of the party, as long as we assume Alred and his horse are the same person.
right.
Oh god. We're doing good. So I would like to push for going and meeting Sauron as soon as possible,
Sauron.
or at least
I loved that
Sorry.
slip of the tongue there. That's fantastic.
Mrs. Tolkien's fault for giving them basically the
Oh
same name.
god. Don't worry about that. That's not relevant at all.
Look, we all knew that someone was gonna say that. That's some fucking.
Typical. That's what
Hey,
happens when you
woo.
make them one tiny syllable different.
Yeah.
Sauron and
Saruman,
Saruman.
they're like the same
Ugh.
guy.
I would like to go meet the Sour Man as soon as possible.
hmm
Saruman.
Yeah, we should probably meet him, and then we can go to the inn and drink and drink.
Yes, at
Yeah.
least set up an
Okay.
appointment with him. Let him know that we're here.
So going and talking to Saruman, you know kind of you get the directions as I said about where he is. One of you needs to do an introduction, kind of like to say hi. So that's someone. That's again we use our tradition skill for that. This is really just to see what kind of mood he's in when you get to talk to him.
Oh
I
boy.
should totally
Good, bad,
do this.
indifferent. Alred, are you rolling traditions? Is that what I
Nice.
heard?
No, definitely not. I'm not doing this.
I assume
Hell
it's
no.
going to be like Kellyan or Nestriel.
23.
That is totally her. Yeah, definitely her.
I'm pretty
would
sure I'm the
support-
only one in the party with traditions.
I
Or does
got it.
somebody else have tradition? Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is good to have at least one other person that can do it.
hmm
Great.
Ugh. Okay, 23 for introductions. Giving names.
Hobbit traditions are still pretty young, so just gotta making them up.
hmm
No,
Okay. So that's 23 is a good. Saruman seems to be he's willing to chat right away. In fact, he seems sort of excited that you might have shown up.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I mean, like, yay, but also, oh no.
So
Oh,
okay,
you are.
I'm-
He's currently in like one of the side, kind of a side room of one of their. It looks like he's been here a little bit, because as you go in, you get this impression of like I don't know, mad scientist lab a little bit. Saruman's always into experimenting with things, right? So it's a relatively large room. There's a whole bunch of like bottles around and things and like tables and things set up. You notice right away two things: is that there's most of like in the corners and on some of the tables there's some very strange plants, some of which have been cut up and like kind of dissected, which it sounds horrible until I finish the rest of my sentence here. When the other thing that there's a lot of, like right as you walk in, one of the jars has a huge like pulsating kind of malformed spider in it that actually like twitches when it like responds, looking very facehuggery towards you. But also there's like dissected spiders around and like spider parts hanging from various things in this around the room, along with some books and scrolls and stuff like that. And Saruman himself is wearing pure white robes that remain white despite the general ickiness of the room, with a long beard. And
Giddy.
he introduces himself. Welcome, travelers. I am Saruman the White. Galadriel informed me of your coming.
We're very happy to be here. She mentioned that you would be an invaluable resource of knowledge and wisdom for our current journey. And I'm having a really difficult time not looking disgusted by the twitchy spider in the jar.
I kind of move over to it and look at it. Can I roll for it?
You can roll either nature or shadow lore, depending on which one you want to roll.
I'm gonna go ahead
Shadow
and
Lore
put my
is
hand on
I don't have
Nephil's
advantage, so I think I'll do
shoulder
that.
because I know how you feel about spiders.
Thank you.
They're really
19.
fucking gross, and that's an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 19 for Shadow Lore.
Ooh.
Let's sec.
looking intensely.
GM loading screen.
I like pick it up and I like kind of twist it around in
Oh,
the
she
jar.
picks it up. Oh my god.
Oh God, why do you touch it?
It's in a jar.
Yeah,
Perfectly
well,
safe.
Spawn of Angoliad. It's fine.
I don't like it.
You got a 19 on Shadow Lord there,
Kill it with fire.
I think
Kellyanne.
I'm gonna reflexively going to take Glidriel's hand.
Giriel or Gliriel.
Glirial.
Gliriel, excuse me.
Speaking of, I was doing the Tolkien thing there with the Gladriel Gliriel versus Saruman. Just so
Right.
you know, I don't know if that's good or bad, right? But mnemonically connecting them.
Ooh.
It's thematic.
Perfectly connected.
Also, I'm distracted by cats too. So
Right. That'll
he's settled
happen.
in. So you definitely get the impression that this is not a normal spider, Kellyanne. That this is something that's been somewhat corrupted by the shadow. It's not as big as what you've heard these things are in Mirkwood, so maybe it's like a baby.
So
But
is it still alive, or is
it
it
is
just, like,
still
floating?
alive. Yes, it is absolutely alive.
Do you plan to make it grow to its full capacity? What is your plan for this?
Oh,
I'm speaking like as a curiosity, like a grotesque curiosity.
okay.
But still sounding aggressive because it's Kellyan.
Yes.
Perfect.
As a side note, Gliriel, obviously Alred has slipped back towards Gliriel.
Mm-hmm.
She seems not in any way excited about this room. It is dark and urban, as well as full of icky things. Although she seems almost more concerned about the plants than the spiders.
Interesting.
The
Oh yeah.
Saruman, since it turns to Kellyanne as says that, and is like, well, since my time here, it has been clear that the darkness growing in Dol Guldur that has corrupted the woods is worthy of important study. That there is one small specimen I've been able to obtain that I am continuing my research on.
To what end is your research about? Like, is it how to stop these things ultimately? Who are you going to be helping with this?
We cannot defeat our enemy unless we understand them. We must know what it is that the shadow is, what it is doing, and how it works in order for us to destroy it.
That seems like a
Well,
slippery
you're not
slope.
telling me anything I don't know, but what I don't know is if I can have more information about this creature, maybe that could help us in the future.
Well, I did have some plans in that area, but I believe you had questions for me before we talk about how you might be able to assist in my studies.
I look over at my companions and I step aside and I let them talk.
I tear my eyes off of the little spider thing, which I'm assuming I recognize to a degree.
I mean, it looks
Very
similar.
uncomfortable with. Yep. Yes. The questions we have for you pertain to what you might know about an artifact that, well, two at this point artifacts that have been brought to our attention. There's a dark blade currently at home in Carindum that is made by the Avari elves, and a coffin made of dark metal and inscribed with black speech about binding in death. I believe it contains the spirits of those kept in it, and I don't know what they do with them once they get them, but it was being transported by orcs, and we believe it is currently in Ursa's hands and are headed up there after this. Anything you have surrounding that or resources you might allow us to use would be incredibly beneficial in keeping these from helping spread the shadow.
But you do not have either of these on yourself, correct?
No.
Hmm.
I have impressions of the inscription on the outside of the coffin, which I have not yet had time to properly translate, as well as vivid a description as I can give you of both of these items.
Okay, so essentially there's a scene here where you do a lot of the like describing it, and he asks like some questions of people and you answer them. I assume everyone is honestly answering questions.
Yeah, I got no reason to lie to him.
I'm very
Yeah.
short in my answers, not very forthcoming.
Here's the thing, though. If somebody in the party does lie to him, and it's like obvious to me that they're lying, I continue the lie. We're going to be united in this.
I think
Thanks,
the only person
Willard.
who's gonna lie is you.
Why would I lie?
I will definitely omit facts because I don't completely trust him, but I will not.
I'm not gonna lie to a wizard. Not even lies by omission. I gush.
So we open the sarcophagus and it's full of tortillas. Like, I don't understand. Weird.
You guys are
Tortillas
doing enough
bound and
talking
dead.
to both of us, so
Weird.
I really don't feel like there's input needed on my part.
Okay, so the nutshell after that conversation, he seems way more interested in the sword than the coffin. So as we're calling it, so he talks about we'll talk about the coffin first. He confirms your belief that it's to trap spirits. He also would say though that it's likely that it doesn't just trap the spirit, but probably siphons power off of it, or in some fashion, embedding it with probably in the box itself. So like if you had a wraith in there for a long time, you could have power of death. He goes into a kind of a tirade, or I don't know, tirade's the wrong word, a scholarly diatribe at that point about
A
how
lecture.
the Witch King of Agmar seems very interested in spirits and stuff like that, and that there is definitely a desire there for tapping into the realms of the dead and finding those spirits that have not made it to Mandos and bending them to his will. There was a reference to Halls of Mandos. For anyone knows, if you don't know that, that's the place where men go when they die.
Mandalorians? What?
The Hall of Mandalorians is different.
That's where you find the baby Yodas.
That's where bounty hunters go when they get sucked in by a sarlacc, I guess, something like that.
Non-scholars make a willpower check to avoid falling asleep.
He's not wrong. It is
I mean,
boring,
rapt attention right here.
especially for like Gundor and Allred.
Wait. Oh,
I'm barely interested.
I'm definitely like not.
I got
Luckily,
no,
I'm standing there with my
interest in
helmet on, so
lore.
they can see that I'm asleep.
Oh, doing good, team.
So Gundor may have fallen asleep. We don't know.
No, my
It's a useful
specialty is
helmet.
dark secrets. I like those.
Okay, so when he gets, so he gives you some advice about the box. That says that it is in fact something you would definitely not want to see in the hands of the Witch King or Dol-Guldur, the Necromancer. And gives you many accolades for stopping it and for assisting in that method. It is likely something that could be destroyed by the Wise, so that it no longer provides a portal to the realm of the dead or anything like that.
And the Wise specifically refers to somebody of the White Council, or just anybody with sufficient knowledge of like shadow lore.
You feel like he's mostly talking about himself, but implies that maybe there are others too. He's kind of arrogant.
Well, yeah.
Who are the others that we could potentially use to destroy it if we need to?
I mean, he will mention Elrond and maybe like Curtin and the Grey Havens.
Wow.
By destroying this, would we destroy the body that used to reside in it?
He doesn't believe that they're directly connected. So no.
But Thranduil would not be somebody that we would be able to take it to get it destroyed. So I think he is the closest of those. Or is Elrond
Thranduil.
closer?
Yes, he certainly is of age and has some wisdom, but his wisdom does not fall in this area.
Fair enough. Transporting that's going to
That's not
be
very wise.
not fun.
over the mist.
You guys are strong. We'll figure it out.
I mean, if you guys aren't opposed to it, we could take it under the mountains.
No.
I feel opposed in a general sense.
Interesting.
I'm just saying one is easier than the other.
Let me check the challenge rating on a Balor before I say anything.
All right, so we know he hasn't statted up a Balrog yet.
Oh boy.
No, although
Things
this
I
is,
worry about.
I guess, in the category of more information than you need, but fun. When I statted up Durin, who's leading, because the Balrog hasn't actually been released yet
Right.
in this timeline. So I was statting him up, and I looked at him and said, yeah, the Balrog's got to be way more powerful than a normal Balor, because that dwarf is stacked. Well, when you take a dwarf and you start giving him like all the heirloom dwarf items from, and you put like you got Durin's armor on, you got Durin's axe, and you got Durin's helmet, and Durin's codpiece and Durin's boots and whatever. He gets out of hand pretty quick. Like, yeah, that's a
That
thing.
is what they say.
So, in order to keep the mystery that he actually loses to the Balrog, the Balrog is probably more in the like, from D&D terms, more like Demon Lord status than like just Balor.
That
Yep.
kind of makes sense.
It does.
Which works out just fine, because there were some very specifically there's Balrogs and there's Balrogs, right? There's because there's Gothmog and Lungorthin, the White Flame.
Yes. Isn't it the Balrog? Oh, there were more Balrogs though. But
Yeah, they were just things that Morgoth had in his army. They were kind of generals, to be fair. I mean, they were top end Morgoth servants.
Hold on, we don't we have an expert in chant?
Anyways, the Balrog that comes up there is in fact not just your normal fire demon. So, not that there's any
Classic.
chance at all that you'll run into a Balrog if you go through Moria.
Mm-hmm.
If
Don't
you
even know
do,
what that
you'll
is.
probably have some dwarven help to deal with it, but we'll see. That's totally me going off on a tangent now, though, so we should get back to things.
God forbid this group of nerds goes off on a Lord of the Rings lore tangent. That'd be silly.
Like we haven't done it before.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Or-
so sword.
Okay, so after you've described the sword, he's like, this here is something that we have not seen before in this part of Middle Earth. I myself have studied all that the enemy brought before us and all that the darkness is bringing now, and this sword is not like any of that. Nor do I think it is part of the lore of the elves that have come before us, even if it seems similar. I would be very interested in further analysis and discussion on this weapon or anything you have that is similar to it.
Of course.
For I believe that there is some ancient power that the Third Age has not yet seen here.
And you believe it to be related?
Related to
This ancient power you refer to?
the sword, yes. It makes me interested in what we could learn of a trip to the east.
Sounds like that may be a valid inquiry for scholarly study. I mean, if you and Galadriel are on good enough terms, she has She is currently protecting somebody who has something we believe directly tied to this black blade that's currently in Karandun. But I don't know enough about such things to properly comment.
I will perhaps see what I can learn about those circumstances. But since, as I can have done what I can to help me, I was curious if you all would be willing to assist me in a small service as well.
Depending on what it is.
It's a good thing you spoke up before I did.
I know, that's why I did it. You're already giving too much away.
I'm not sleeping.
I innately trust the intelligent and powerful.
I don't.
Good.
Wait, you guys don't trust Saruman? Okay, never mind. I'm sure his next sentences will help. Anyways,
Yep.
well, as you can see, I am doing my best to understand the nature of that darkness that grows in Dol Guldur. There is much we do not yet know, but we do know that it has corrupted both the land and the plants of Mirkwood. Here, I am in Minas Ithil. One of the reasons that I am here is that there is another opportunity to study the corruption of spiders not too far from here. I do not know if you have heard, but there is one of the true spawn of Ungoliant that makes her lair just above us on the mountains. Deep within the darkness of caverns there, she breeds her own spider spawn. And I'm curious if what is happening in Mirkwood is the same as that spawn of Ungoliant that sits here.
I give him. Oh.
No, go ahead.
I describe for him very quickly what Sinarath. Oh God. Fucking these words. I swear to God. Sinratha, the Spider Queen. I describe what she looked like and ask him if he thinks that sounds pretty similar to what he is looking for in those caves.
I do believe from that description, but there are things I need to do to be sure, and to see if there are ways I can find to combat this spiderous infestation of darkness.
So what would you would gain knowledge if we were to defeat the spider queen of sorts? What would we in turn gain in risking our lives for you?
What I would desire is for you to climb the mountain and enter her lair and return with one of her spawn, alive at best.
And you think that we should just forget about the rest of the spider infestation?
Well, I believe
Sneaking
that
out with one of them will be difficult enough.
I do not. He looks at all of you and says, I do not believe that you are prepared to face a true child of Ungoliant. So
Then why should we go into the lair of a beast surrounded by her own kin if we're running the risk of being detected by her? This doesn't make any sense. If you don't seem confident in us, I do not see any valid reason to do this.
if it was easy, I would not ask heroes such as yourself to do it.
That's a fair point. I have faced similar creatures and come out alive. I had a bit more help than I do now, but I think we can do it if we don't challenge her directly. My question to you, a wise one, if we do this, how do you intend to research the shadow within them? I am loath to give you a sample of corruption that may in turn corrupt you. The shadow is very insidious in how it spreads its tendrils, and I have already seen the fall of my home to its shadowy corruption, both spider-wise and other. Forgive me, but I worry for you.
It is right to worry for those mortals that play with the darkness and shadow, for it corrupts easily. As we have seen throughout the history of men uh, and elves falling to the whispered words of Morgoth. But have faith. I am not of normal man. I am not. I have been given the task to help this world and given the knowledge and the skills to avoid the darkness that lies within. I am
I
Saruman
think
the
we need to
White.
sleep on this before we agree. This is a big decision.
I would like to insight check him if I can.
Go for it.
As my character, not as a player who knows that eventually he falls to darkness.
Uh-huh.
Well, hey, have any of you fought Spider Queens? I didn't think so. Ooh, hey.
Yeah, I can help.
I never said that.
Haha, 21.
Ooh.
You feel convinced he believes that.
Well, at least he has great confidence in himself. We'll assume that that means good things.
I mean,
Or we can assume hubris.
we're still in pretty early Saruman. He's only been here about 600 years, so
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck, I'm older than him. Yes.
yes, you're older than he's been here.
That's okay. Fair. Fair distinction. I
There's
agree with. Oh, go ahead.
no go.
I agree with Kellyan. I believe our group is very weary from the travel that we have undertaken, and that since this would be a group effort, we need to discuss it as a group before we agree. We are grateful that you lent us your wisdom and your information regarding the sarcophagus, at least, even if the sword is a little bit more mysterious than you or I were anticipating. If we do retrieve this specimen for you, I would ask additional favor in return with your knowledge and wisdom.
I would be very grateful if you completed this task, so of course I will return any reasonable request.
I think that sounds fair. Now, outside of business, you seem to have a couple of things in here that I'm pretty familiar with, like these cryptid spiders, but those plants over there, would you mind terribly? I'm an herbalist, and I love investigating new and interesting forms of flora. Would you mind if I took a look at them?
Certainly. Let us and he'll lead Nestriel over there to start talking about plants. If anyone
Go, Kellyan.
wants to not phase out or get involved or just leave now,
I'm checking out these spider things because it's best to know your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
it looks like most of the spider stuff is relatively old, like dried and preserved rather than
Any
currently
notes
live.
hanging around that can just kind of scan over?
He does have some scrolls lying around that you can scan over. Do you speak Sindarin, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. They're written. That's the language they're written in, and they seem very academic stuff, noting the size of it and the intensity of colors and stuff like that. So
Is there anything that can talks about temporarily incapacitating them or stuff that will make them stop or be stunned, I guess?
There's definitely at least the hint that one of the goals is to figure out what what their poison is, or whether they might, when I put this in this substance, the leg reacts and this it doesn't. It's pretty academic, so you don't really know the details of it. But
so you don't know what about storage capacity? Do they hold well in just a jar? Does it have to be magically reinforced?
you don't get anything around that, no.
No, of course not, because why would you write that down?
Well, I mean, the jar itself does not look to be magically reinforced, although you're not sure what magic reinforcement might look like, but you don't see anything outside of the ordinary on that jar.
Is there an empty jar around here that I could just pilfer?
There is an empty jar around here. Pilfering it,
Because we're gonna need it for we're gonna need it for the spider.
Pilfering it will require a stealth check.
Well, not pilfer. I'm just gonna go over to it, look at him, and just tell him this will be for the spider, unless he says otherwise.
Okay, so while you're doing that, of course, there, Nestriel, you're talking about plants. The main thing you
Yep.
get out of it is that he's very concerned about that. Not only has he seen the fauna of Mirkwood start to be corrupted, but he's seen the flora as well, like the trees, and it's slower. He thinks a large part because they don't, the plants don't move, so it has to kind of more slowly grow from the hill of Dogulder. But he has some samples that he's been traveling with, and he is looking to see, if it's like contagious and stuff like that.
Okay. My
So he does
character
say
is
stuff like,
very...
"Don't go near that plant."
Well, that's fair. I feel like my character would be very interested in helping him, at least a little bit, both with the intent to learn something herself and with the intent to hopefully impress him with her knowledge.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be a lore roll of some sort, right?
Yes,
I mean,
it can.
And
I
some
have
sort, I mean lore.
lore.
Nestriel, are you
Straight
getting
lore.
you getting a tan on your face there? The tip of your nose?
Aha! Aha! I
Oh.
give the Hobbit a high five. Or a
Thanks,
low five.
buddy.
High for me, low for you.
Okay, so during all of this, Allred and Glirio pretty much just stand in the corner of the room and avoid touching anything.
I look through stuff. Yeah. Well, if everybody's doing it, I'm gonna peek around. What's this magical doodad? And maybe hopefully I don't touch the wrong thing.
Maybe hope.
I got a 17, which is not quite as high as I was hoping for. But hey.
I mean, a 17 means you're not making any like stupid mistakes or anything, but it's hard pressed to feel like you impressed him
Yeah.
above and beyond.
Really, really hoping I would roll high enough to get above 20, but there's always next time.
Well,
Hey, since
whatever
these
you're
are
doing,
is there like anti-venom? I look over at Saruman about that. Like, I mean, he's probably been bitten at least once or twice. He should have some sort of anti-venom that he can give my elvish friend.
That's reasonable. Willard, you were saying?
Oh, crap! I can't remember.
Okay. I think that if you ask for some spider antivenom, and that seems a reasonable request, he has some that he has produced but not tested.
I'll take a look at it before we use it.
Okay.
Oh, I was saying, I'm whatever Nestriel is doing, I find impressive. 17 is good. That's respectable.
Thanks, man. Means a lot to me.
Yeah, learn. I like
Okay.
learning.
I think with that, you leave Saruman to go spend a night at an inn in a soft bed.
God, that place gave me the heebie-jeebies. Holy. Huh.
You're telling me, Medalinor.
He's pretty full of himself. His hubris knows no bounds.
Oh, I don't want to fight giant spiders again.
Well, we're not necessarily agreeing to this either.
I didn't like how he just kind of assumed that we couldn't fight a giant spider.
To be fair,
I mean-
he probably is not off track with that.
Last time I had Legolas with me, and we
I feel like I could probably
got radagast at some point during that, so no offense to any of you, but I feel like that might have been a little more powerful of a party than we have.
Well, and I feel like we are going to go in. If we're going to go into a spider's nest, we might as well just make it a one-stop shop and destroy the rest of them.
Which would be ideal. However, the Spider Queen that I fought was, I didn't fight it. The Spider Queen that the people around me fought was very difficult. I actually almost died during that particular encounter. I did learn a lot about giant spiders, and I really don't like them.
Well, then what's the rush in doing it? He doesn't really have like a time frame. He doesn't like say anything that was rather like important.
So what we would get from him, I would like to be upfront with. I would ask him to see what he can tell us about your curse, Kellyan, of people forgetting you when they're not me or around you constantly, which I think would be very helpful.
Like what?
As well as Willard,
Yeah, what is...
the curse on you or whatever interaction has happened with this artifact and your shadow assassin self that we have yet to see
think he can help me?
manifest. I think he might be able to tell us how to find what we need to find or have more information. He was very helpful with that sarcophagus, a little bit less the sword, but let's not bruise his ego too quickly.
I think the most important, if we were to ask a question, would be for William.
For Willard, I agree. And since we got the information about the sarcophagus and the sword because Galadriel told him to, I don't think that he would be quite as willing to give us the other information for free, which is why I am kind of on board with getting a baby spider. And he seems very confident that he will not be corrupted by the shadow as he investigates it, so somebody needs to do it.
I wonder whom he had collect the previous spider, or if he has any insight to that, because if we're going to do this, we need to do this right the first time.
Which is true.
I mean, you guys don't have to do that just for me. It sounds pretty dangerous.
To be honest, we're doing it for everybody, because if you turn out to be dangerous and we have to put you down, that would put a curse in my day.
Way to put that in a...
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so worst case scenario.
Very Kellyan of you.
Yeah. All right. Maybe if you think that's likely, then yeah, I guess it's worth the danger then.
I mean, historically speaking, you did try to kill me. I haven't forgotten that.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Can we get
So-
more mead over here, please?
All of this.
I agree.
This
More
again.
mead.
Doesn't this happen every time we're at a tavern?
It seems
Canon now. In addition, if he succeeds in investigating why the flora and fauna are being corrupted by Dogaldor, perhaps we might be able to help save my homeland. I am from southern Mirkwood historically, or my house was.
So what does he want? He just wants us to go get some stuff so he can study it, or what?
Yes, in essence, collect a baby spider from the Queen's lair itself,
Well,
closest to the source of corruption.
doesn't mean
I
we have
think
to
what
do the whole thing, right?
The whole thing.
Like we don't have to clear out the whole entire nest.
No, unfortunately, we don't have the capabilities to do that.
We just go and get a baby. Can we get an egg? Is there eggs?
He asked specifically for a spider. If we go for the eggs, we go deeper into the lair and we risk the chance of, dying a horrible, painful
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Regular little baby one. Okay.
How hard could that be? It's just a baby, right?
Well, it's more the
Yeah,
adults
hard at all.
guarding the baby that I'm worried about.
I can whoop the shit out of any spider.
Just pat Gundir's shoulder.
Of-
I know
of
you
course
can.
Gundyr.
I think if we are successful in attaining this baby spider, on our way back, I think one of us, and I pointedly look over at my elvish friend over here, should study it, because I think our wizard friend isn't exactly making too much headway.
That's a lot of exposure to the shadow.
I have proven steadfast in the past, despite almost dying to a corrupted spider. I myself am not corrupt that I know of. So,
Doesn't
would you
mean
know?
we should take more risks.
I have no idea.
I feel like it would.
Well, I don't think you're corrupted either. So
Thank
that
you.
makes two of us. That's enough.
Mhm.
But
I third that.
what was the name of this place that we're going?
I don't think he gave us no, he did give us a name. I was just distracted by some memories that I don't like reliving.
I mean, the name is Torek Ungol, but I'm not sure he said that. He just said of the mountain
Oh,
above
okay.
you. As a side note, one of the things I was going to say is that you're hanging out in and it's all kind and everything, but there's always a little bit of a shadow over this town because you are really nestled right against the dark mountains of Mordor. So like literally like right out of town, there's just cliffs that go straight up, and of black stone.
The real
Uh,
estate is very affordable prices.
The thing I'm worried about is if we take this baby, will it then incur the wrath of these spiders onto this town?
Probably.
Well, this town appears to be fairly well defended, considering it looks quite ruinous.
He's already taken one freaking spider.
Yeah.
yeah, there's
I
a
think
garrison of people here, and they don't look particularly afraid at the moment.
Also, from a natural point of view, spiders are not as dangerous if they're attacking, as if you know.
It's true.
They're an ambush predator.
They are.
They wait. They wait for you to come to them. They don't charge the walls.
Yeah. Which
So I guess we're doing this
for us.
thing, aren't we?
But if spiders did charge the walls, that would be actually terrifying.
That would actually be terrifying. But I
Great.
believe that it is a group vote, so I am on board with this. The benefits outweigh the risks.
Oh hell yeah, I'm in. Let's kick the shit out of some spiders.
Willard?
Yeah. What, Greg? Is this a good time to take advantage of my treasure hunter treasure lore ability? Whenever I am told of a particular location or chance across it, I ask the lore master for 3 pieces of information regarding the locale. Is
Yeah.
this a particular location?
It absolutely is. Torkungal is
It is
thing that
in
goes
fact-
into lore, right? So you get
Uh,
3 pieces of information.
Yeah, this information is usually a mixture of particular treasures and obstacles, though I feel like you can tell me whatever information you want.
Sure. Well, I mean, the first thing is you probably know the name of the spider then, Shetlab.
Okay. Yay!
That she has a name and that she's known as a spawn of Ungoliant and has been like tacked out there for, thousands and thousands of years since probably the first age sometime.
Long time.
So older than Nestriel. And probably older than Gliriel too, for that matter. The second piece of information is there's always been rumors of like a treasure, because you got to have a treasure there, right? Called the Tablets of Dark Knowledge that are hidden somewhere deep within her lair and were lost there ages ago by some agent of Sauron that crossed her wrong and got eaten.
Oh,
There's a story there, but that's a second age story, so it's a pretty old one. And the third one is that there is in fact that there is both a way to get the stairs that lead out of here that lead right up into that, which you're assuming of what Saruman would probably tell you anyways, direction wise. But there's 2 paths in there. You could either just take the normal road up there and then turn in at Sirathungal, or you could actually take the stair that name escapes me, the dark stair up the side of the mountain, which is essentially something that was carved thousands of years ago as well.
I was like, yeah, I've heard of that place. There's the Shelob. There is the name of the spider, and there's some tablets of power or something, and also there's a staircase. Back staircase somewhere.
What is the staircase like?
I heard it's
Could it be useful?
dark. I think so. I think it's another entrance into the
staircase, Alred.
So Alred, are you on board? I don't think
we're going
we
to
would
be able to bring your horse up the staircase.
Yeah.
If that's what you're asking.
I see why it would be valuable to do this, so I am in.
Kellyanne.
I give you a look. I kind of quirk my brow. I'm in.
Okay. I think we should take tonight to rest and recuperate, and we'll let him. Do you want to tell him that we're going to go do it, or just go do it and then come back?
Well, we need to get some more information from him before we just go all willy-nilly up to his spider group.
That's what I thought. I'm just making sure. You didn't seem to like him very much.
Well, somebody who's full of himself to that extent, who would?
Hey, is it just me? Is it, that wizard fellow looks like somebody I know.
You do?
Yeah, is a hobbit friend of mine named Christopher Legalo.
Yeah, no, sorry. The only other guy I know is the only other halfling I know is a man named Ander Lee Gallo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nerds.
Okay, so sleeping here this evening and then doing it in the morning. That's a nice rest for all of you.
Yay!
Woo!
I mean, it probably actually qualifies as a long rest tonight.
Oh,
If there's anything you have that requires a long rest, probably not. We haven't done too much since Lorien.
yeah, I mean,
So that does happen, and if anyone is injured, they can spend some hit dice and all that. But I think we're pretty good. Spending a week in Lorien, whatever, will help out with those things.
That's true.
And then the morning dawns, and you guys are up bright and early, I assume, to notify Saruman and hit the road, because you probably want to get up there before dark. I'm just gonna guess.
I wanna
There are a couple of
check.
questions.
Check
Oh.
stores and see if I can find some goddamn hagsweed.
some hagweed.
I haven't had time to go harvest my own, and I would really like to have some if we're gonna go fight.
I can help you
Sheila.
find some.
Well, I guess I'm going to go over
Merchants.
and ask the wizard a couple more questions regarding the spiders.
Okay.
Because we need some information.
So hagsweed, it looks like there's only one dose, and it's kind of old and has been sitting on the shelf for a while.
Ugh. These people need to take better care of their herbs.
You would agree based on the shop you're at.
Hagweed.
That's yes.
Aw.
And then we get to the wizard. So Kellyan,
I approached the place like I did yesterday, I guess, expecting the worst out of everything. But I asked for his audience.
I mean, he's expecting you in the morning, so you all can go in.
Oh, I thought we were splitting up. Got it. Okay.
Do you want to split up? I mean, it would be a little faster.
No.
But it seems
You
like
never
you could do one on the way, so. Okay. So yeah, you all go in to talk to him the morning. You actually meet him this time outside of his lab because he's like actually having breakfast somewhere. So it's a little less creepy of a place to talk.
Oh, nice food. I look to serve myself.
It is officially second breakfast, Willard.
I mean, if you have food and you have guests over, it just goes without
Hobbit
saying.
tradition.
Yes, you have agreed then to. That is excellent. I appreciate all of the work and danger that you put yourself in, for it is one more step that we as the people of Middle-earth must make in order to ensure that the darkness does not take over all of the land of man.
I have a couple of questions before we take off.
Well, of course.
How were you able to get that spider before?
This one, I mean the one in the lab,
Yeah, the one that's still alive.
it was a baby
This one?
specimen that one of the guardsmen spotted, and I managed to get them very small outside of here. I do not think that it is not really one of the spawn of a Goliath, but perhaps a second or third generation.
That just wandered outside the cave.
Occasionally, spiders do come down off of the mountain.
So is there any information that you can supply with us? Like where do they keep their baby spiders before they get huge?
Very few have ventured within the caves of Torque, Ungol, and returned. I would hope that you would be able to minimize how deep you go into those caves. For the longer you're in there, the more dangerous it becomes.
Well, that helps. Thanks.
I try really hard not to
Actually,
laugh
on the
behind
attitude
Kelly.
say.
No, you know what? I do giggle a little bit behind Kelly, and she gets all snippy with one of the most powerful people in Middle Earth.
And all I know is that he thinks that we can't handle it, and that makes me mad.
I mean, Kellyan's pretty powerful too. Have you seen?
She has been doing pretty good.
If anything, Kellyan could scold that spider into submission.
Thanks.
Does intimidation work on the?
Intimidation works for everything.
If in doubt, make it feel like shit.
Right. When in doubt, roll intimidation.
You can't see this, but the kitten is now watching us too. So
Yay!
No.
she's just on the other side of the camera, so you can't see her. Anyways, maybe you'll see her come by here in a second. Okay. Anything else for Saruman before we head up the hill?
Any known weaknesses that you've come across for these guys?
Do we have a
Experimenting
Do we
on
have a
them?
trap?
At least something.
Almost
we
without
gonna catch
doubt, the closer from my experience, the closer they are to Ungoliant herself, the more they dislike the light of day.
Great.
Okay, good to know.
And
Maybe we should get a net.
yeah, and a jar, a net. We have anti-venom, right?
I mean, untested anti-venom, but yes.
Is there anything else you can give us so that it will make our journey a bit more successful?
I have
Any
done
other words?
what I know. When it comes to the task of infiltrating the dark caverns, I assume you are more capable than I.
I bite my tongue from saying something a little bit more passive aggressive. So I kind of step back next to Willard and everybody else.
So, do I find any other food?
There's basically like a little store thing where there's like maybe like some fruit or something, and that's it.
Yeah, cool. I grab some fruit.
Okay. Saruman wishes you well on your journey and will eagerly await your return.
I find some place to keep Dustcart.
So you guys are going up the stairs then?
Well, that's something that we do need to discuss as a group. Do we want to go in the front door and kind of beeline it for the back and see what we can get? Or do we want to stealthily go in through the side entrance of the stairs? Because if we want to do the stairs, I will brew us some Shadow Thorns so that we all have advantage on dexterity checks for 3 days. Or stealth checks for 3 days.
Yeah.
Going in through the back is best.
Wow.
Out of character. It's fine. Don't worry about it. What? This is mild. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go make some Shadow Thorn then.
Yeah, you make some Shadow Thorn, and we'll all just go in through the back door like Kellyan prefers.
Ooh.
Yep. This
Man.
is an adult program, right?
Nestriel,
We're good?
you'll get good
That
at
is
jokes
correct.
eventually.
You'll get good jokes eventually, Nestriel.
So
Honestly, I find it's easier to get the jokes after a couple more glasses of mead.
I agree. Wait, no, we have a job to do today.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means only half as much mead.
Oh boy.
okay.
Um,
After Shadow Thorning people, you head up the stairs.
Yep.
Obviously, Gliro is with you, so the 6 of you head up the stairs. It's a nightmarish climb straight up the side of a mountain with stairs that look like they were carved into the rock 1,000 years ago. Um,
Boy,
and
that sounds fun.
What is this? A staircase for ants?
well, Gliriel seems okay with it.
Well, of course the elves are okay with these stairs.
I don't know. Is Nestriel okay with the stairs?
I mean, probably not as much as the other elf. Again, physical stats are not what I'm good at.
Speaking of that, everyone should make a dexterity and a constitution check. Or I should say acrobatics for
Acrobatics
the
or
dexterity
athletics?
one, and athletics for the other one, although you can use con instead of strength if you want for athletics.
Thank fucking God.
All right, so you said a dexterity, which could be acrobatics, and then an athletics?
Yes.
Alright, well, my acrobatics was good. It's a 18 on the acrobatics. The constitution. It's gonna be a 9. Because I'm very physically inclined.
God.
It's okay. I'm 100% walking next to Gundyr and may or may not be leaning on him, as he is the closest thing to safety that I have. And
Well,
behind Alred, but he has his own elf lady to look after, so.
That's true, yes.
yeah.
Did you want us to use
Acrobatics was
Constitution
a-
for the athletics?
That preferred. Yeah, go for it. Do it.
Yeah, acrobatics was 15, but Constitution was 25. So
Oh, both
Works
of those
out.
are good enough. You're doing great, Gundyr.
good.
I got a 21 on my acrobatics and a 15 on my Constitution.
Oh, I got a 21 as well. It was.
If I can take my super good advantages on my rolls, I'd like to make sure that everybody gets up just okay.
And actually, and I got a 17 on my athletics, but I look over and I see Nestriel kind of like peek a little bit and like sweat as much as an elf can sweat, I guess. And I look over at her and I was like, it helps if you skip like 2 at a time. You get a plus E, like 6.
So you're like challenging the elf to how fast we can go up the stairs.
Yeah, it's like you can do it. You got it.
The least physical elf you've probably ever met, which with that d6 will bring my athletics constitution, because I am not strong, but I am hardy, up to a 13.
Woo!
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
So I'm like, oh fuck, Kellyan's watching. Okay, go. I need her to still respect me.
Okay, Willett, how did you do?
Actually, what skill are we rolling?
Acrobatics and athletics.
Ooh, I'm good at that. Acrobatics, I rolled poorly. 16.
Okay. I mean, poorly is good enough for you.
Right.
Ooh.
And athletics, you can replace con instead of strength, though. Which you'll want to do as a hobbit, almost for sure.
Both of these. Ooh, rolled not great. That is a 4.
Ooh.
All right. So at a certain point, I'm going to pick up the Hobbit and just carry him up the rest. Of
Yeah, it's like
That sounds about right, yeah.
I was doing great at first, and then I got tired.
Oh.
Keep busy showing off.
Gundyr, I think we can share the burden of the small hobbit.
Listen, when
We
you're
can
this
bear the
big
load.
and each stair is this big, that's a lot. Takes a lot out of you. Every stair is a lot.
Hi, kitty cat.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll stick with Nestriel then.
Kitty.
Everybody else is helping the Hobbit.
Oh.
So
Kitty cat.
with the bonus to
Aw.
Nestriel, she did in fact make high enough. 12 is what I was after for the stairs. For these. Everybody
Yay.
seems to have made dex, which is good, right? That's the one you didn't want to fumble.
Nobody fell.
But Willett is in fact exhausted. He has 1 level of exhaustion when he gets to the top.
Aww.
That means that all of your physical stuff is at disadvantage until you get unexhausted, which generally a night at an inn will do. Although, so hopefully you guys have a chance to recuperate after this. But those stairs were a nightmare of hobbit proportions.
Right.
Wait.
Haha, I do have an herb for that.
You got some drugs?
I do.
On the other hand,
Ethylas.
cocaine does remove exhaustion temporarily.
That it does.
Oh.
I mean,
It definitely does.
they
I
use a
mean,
coconut leaf in Peru, like in higher elevations. So
cocaine's just an elvish word for some herb. I don't know what it is.
Ethylas.
The go plant.
So once we're at the top, if we want to take enough time for me to boil a small cup of water with ethylas in it, Willard will no longer be exhausted. Technically, none of us would then be exhausted because it affects all of us. Because my scholar level's dope.
Well, right at the top is basically a very small ledge which goes into a cave right away. So there's not a lot of
Oh,
space up
perfect.
there. So you wouldn't want to like camp or set up a fire, probably. If you do,
That's-
you're actually
that's true.
within the cave when you do it.
I'm gonna do it like that. Hopefully, no other hobbits will have to even take these stairs.
I imagine Willard was.
We can always.
I imagine Willard wants to set up camp and eat some dinner,
Got
supper,
this.
lunch, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
who
food
else-
sounds great always.
is very stealthy because we could do a little bit of scouting before we all go in there, but that is up to whoever would be doing the scouting.
I would. Oops, lost somebody. Lost.
Killian, no!
Wow, Kelly looks different.
My body.
Willard,
Whenever we lose a party member,
Some
we
reason-
everyone has to play a different character till they get back. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh.
except for me, apparently. Gundyr is in the same.
I feel so frail right now.
Allred just collapses, face plants into the.
All red has gone dark.
Oh man. Well, as Willard, I feel like I need to make some silly jokes and maybe knock something over, and then
The world is such a dark and unforgiving place.
gonna tell Gliriel another story about Alred, who's not here for some reason.
I am a well-spoken elf. Okay, who did it?
Well,
Guys.
your guys' pretending to other people was so bad, the police just got called.
That's,
Apparently, that's a crime.
You
That
guys
would be
need to
the
be
ambulance for
inspired.
the old folks' home nearby that comes by
Yeah.
at least once a day.
oh, that's lovely.
They don't usually have their sirens on, so apparently this one's very important.
Yeah, I got the
I guess
same
that means they're probably still alive. Still.
Oh, we're getting really dark. Okay.
All red has gotten really dark. Okay.
Anyways, Kellyanne, tell us more about how angry you are.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Killian.
What?
So
Well, Gundyr was asking you a question.
We were just talking about how cool you were, and
Uh-huh.
show us.
BS.
Could you show us how to skin a
Darkness.
spider?
skin a spider? Right.
Really?
It's more like shuck a spider.
Oh,
Whoa, whoa.
Okay, that's
oh,
right.
boy.
It's a mature show. We can get away with that. The so Nesriel, you were going to do your thing with herbs before you guys went into the cave, right? And the cave itself, there is already, you can see like the trailing wisps of spider webs along the edges of it. So it gives you kind of that creepy spider feel already before you even got.
Hey, who has torches? Did we get that net? Oh gosh.
Yes,
You got
we
a
the
jar. You've got a jar. And I'm going to assume you got torches because it would be silly not to bring torches along.
net. Right.
Torches are going to be so counterproductive to a stealth mission. Oh, but none of you can see in the dark. Ah, humans.
It's okay. You just lead the way and we'll follow behind you.
No, she's not going to lead the way. Are you like?
I
You
will
don't
100% lead the way. None of the rest of you can see in the dark. I can see for up to 60 feet.
Oh,
Shush, Gundir. I got this.
okay. With
I mean-
this new information, I vote Gundir.
So with Glirial, that's half the party that won't be blind.
Ooh, hey. You know, you should date elves more
Wait.
often.
Say that I can
Yeah,
see
right.
dark.
Well, I mean, we're not dating. I mean, she's just here to help us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, we
What
gotta.
was she helping you with the other night?
My
Yeah.
Elvish.
Ooh, ooh.
I'm learning. I'm learning Elvish.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
That is a very good way to learn Elvish, though, to be honest.
What?
Anyway, here's your tea.
I assume the tea removes exhaustion levels. Is that
Yes, it removes the level of exhaustion from a number of creatures equal to my scholar level, which is like 7 right now. So if we had exhaustion, everyone would lose 1 level.
This is really good tea.
so?
Oh,
Willett is no longer exhausted. The 6 spiders being in the
ready
darkness
to
are
go.
no
You guys
longer
ready?
exhausted either.
Wait, what?
We've been pretty ready.
But anyways, yeah, there it is. Dark cave with spider webs. You guys signed up for this.
That we did.
Yeah. Absolutely. What could go wrong?
So yeah, marching order, and whether you're using torches or not.
Ooh.
I think we
No.
should avoid torches at first, so we
I
should
like
all partner
torches.
up. Gundir, if you can go with Willid, and then Kellyanne and I will be in the middle, and Alred and Glirial take up the back. That way we
Sounds
each
good.
have a partner who has dark vision.
Wait, who's my partner?
Gundir.
Oh,
You're at the front with Gundir.
Yep.
oh, okay.
Look, when I tell you to light up a torch, just light up a torch. That's all you gotta do.
Light up a torch. Light up a torch.
Did you see him try to light a tree?
And obviously, if everyone
He's good
behind
at lighting
us
things.
sees a torch light up, then that means that we've hit trouble.
The code word for light the torch is light the torch.
It's a good safe word. I mean code word.
Or, oh shit!
Okay,
Into the dark
Um,
cave we go.
in we go. Try not to touch try and avoid touching as many spider webs as possible.
Okay, well the good news is that some of you can see in the dark. Now, to be clear, this is Middle Earth dark vision, right? So you can see as long as there's some light at all. In the pure, complete darkness, even elves and Gundir are blind. Not
That's
that
true.
that would come into effect, but you are leaving the sunlight behind. Good news is, though, is it's bright and sunny out there, so you can go quite a ways into the cave before that becomes an issue. And you only get about 100 feet in before you come across webs spun across the passageway. They look like they were spun a while ago, and they're kind of old. And there is actually an orc stuck in them that looks like it's been there for at least a week. I mean, dead at least a week.
right.
Gross.
Sucks to suck.
And it doesn't look like it'd be too hard to cut a hole through them because they're old and not well put together. But they are big enough to catch people.
Does he look emaciated or desanguinated?
Yes, he does.
Gross.
Perfect.
Given that I've fought spiders before, do these look like the kind of webs that when you touch them, they tell all the other webs that you've touched them, or are they just catchy, sticky webs?
You kind of assume all of them are that way, and you don't have any reason not to think that of these. The only thing is maybe they're older and they haven't been cleaned up, so. But yeah, you would kind of expect that if you're playing around much with these spider webs, you're going to let spiders inside know what's up.
Could we use that to our advantage?
That's
and
what we want
perhaps-
to do, though, right? Maybe we can get them to come.
Yeah, maybe if we.
Warm to come to us.
Oh
'Cause the thing
no! Listen, we just put one of us up there as bait, and then wait for, a couple of them to come find the bait.
That
We ambush the ambush.
No.
Just they also call it envelop. Envelop. I heard there was a battle fought where that happened.
Well,
envelope.
if it makes you feel better, I'll volunteer to be bait. I'm
Well-
not afraid.
Would I know enough about spider tactics to determine whether or not it would be like a small patrol of spiders that would come by, or if it would just get all of the spiders? Because if it's just gonna be a patrol of spiders, then that's totally chill.
Maybe it depends on size and number
Spider
of.
tactics.
That's fair.
Are there any gaps in this web that are big enough to kind of like weaver through?
No, I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of work because there are some gaps. And I guess maybe now that I think about it, Willard might be able to sneak through without
Yeah, I was
touching a
I
web.
rolled the 27 for stealth, by the way.
It's like, could we find an alternative route, or could he on the other side find an alternative route?
I mean, if you want to send the Hobbit alone into the darkness while all of you wait behind the web, that's one, par for the course, and two, totally doable.
And kind of what I told him he was brought on board for.
That's what you brought me on board for?
Not specifically
Whoa, 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 whoa.
spider sneaking, but general sneaking and stealthy stuff.
Willard, I'll go with you, man. Like, I'm not gonna let you go in there by yourself.
How
That's
But
can
the
you do
reason-
that? You're too big.
Gundyr, yeah,
reason
you
he
can't
would
sneak
go
through
alone.
that.
I'm too big, but
In-
that's not
in
the
this-
point.
In this case, it's best to have him go by himself, find an alternative route, and hope to God he's better at hiding than he is at trying to get onto a boat.
Okay, so just
And if anything looks scary, you come back immediately.
But what am I supposed to, like, am I looking to catch them myself, or what am I'm just going to scout?
Yes.
Alternative route.
Go have a look around, and then come back if anything scary happens.
So on
Yes.
an alternative route comment, just to be clear, you've walked about 100 feet down a passageway. There have not been any side passages. The end of the thing is the cliff with the stair. So unless he finds a secret passage that like opens a wall that you didn't know about, the only way in or out of here is through the spider webs.
We could also just say fuck it and run for it.
Run into the cave.
Through.
Into the spider lair as much as we can.
Why don't we
Get
Have
draw
you
ready
them?
and leave.
discounted the bait idea? I'm still keen on the bait idea.
I am not keen on
You're not the bait.
What's that?
That's because you're not the bait.
No,
No, he
I
volunteered.
volunteered to be the bait.
And then everyone decided that Willard would be better
No,
bait.
no, that is a separate plan. There are two plans. Bait
Willard was
plan
never
and Willard plan.
I mean, if we send Willard in first enough to see how many spiders are in the area, we would have a much better idea of whether or not the bait plan would be a safer plan than
It's true.
the
It's true. We can
alternative.
Combine the plan.
Or possibly he can go in there, see if there's any baby spiders so that we can get the adult spiders out to attack us. He can grab one of them and sneak all the way back.
Distraction tactics, very much like the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
So we give Willard the jar.
The jar and as much of a pep talk as we can manage.
This much.
Okay,
I-
Willard. You've got this.
It's
Okay.
Well, just remember, don't let them bite you, and then he gets us D6.
Don't-
I am also going to tell Willard about my experience with the spiders and traversing their webs in Mirkwood, and he will get a d6 from me as well.
Willard, you don't have to do that.
Wow. No. I think she's got a good point. Don't get bit, and
Don't get stuck.
beatable. All right,
Don't get bit and don't get stuck. You'll be okay.
got it.
I mean,
If you need to, shout and we will find you.
So can I get by the webs without disturbing them?
Yes. I mean, yeah, we'll just say yes. You get by the.
All right, bait.
You're small enough.
Then do you want me to roll a? What do you want? What do you want?
Well, what are you doing after you get through the webs? It's
crouch
dark in
down.
there.
Oh, can I see?
No, not really.
I'm supposed to go back if there's something scary, right?
You can just
Yeah. So
make out the
I
very.
turn around and I'm like, hey, it's really dark. I'm scared.
You got this, Willard.
Job. You
I can't. No, I can't even see.
okay? Well, then either he needs a torch or I need to go with him.
You're not going with him.
Well, then you go with him.
I'll
Can
just
you
Willard?
see in the dark?
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable with a smaller flame? So less of like a full-size torch and like we just make you a little one?
Sure.
Because I should be able to swing that.
Yeah.
Rifle through all my pouches and shit to like make him a mini torch.
Give him a candle.
I actually have candles!
Yeah, I mean,
candle works.
essentially that would be it.
Fantastic.
Tiny
Look at
torch
that.
is a
Thanks,
candle.
Gundyr. I forget about these things. I have so many pouches. I just...
Who's looking for a nose?
Okay, so Willard, you've got a candle.
You forgot
Which-
that you had candles.
Illuminates in a very scary and shaky manner a small
Willard,
section.
Don't set the webs on
As
fire.
long as I
That'll
can
be bad.
see, I will try. Or I don't know. Okay.
In the meantime,
All right, then I take that candle and then I'll use that to light the way, and maybe even like, no, it's still gonna light me up. Doesn't matter. I got this.
Okay,
And
you
then I very carefully sneak my way through.
you sneak your way through and start sneaking your way down. You're looking for spiders, I assume.
Yeah. And scary things.
Okay.
And
As it turns out, you might find both.
Whoa.
who would have thought?
Okay, so right after that, you come to a junction in the passageway, left or right.
Left.
Okay, you go left, and then you roll perception. You're at disadvantage on this because of, the obvious things.
Right. My first roll is a 19. I got a 10 on the second one, so that's 14, I believe.
Okay, you've totally see something dark skittering in the passageway in front of you. It has the word skittering, so you assume it's a spider.
How big?
Well, so
So I have the
there's
chart,
you. It's probably
Yeah.
about Gundyr sized.
I run.
I think
out.
that's the
I'm out of there.
appropriate reaction.
That's the appropriate reaction. None of that.
I start running. I stop immediately. I turn around and I memorize what the room looks like, and then I continue running.
I mean, you're just in a passageway, right? And you saw it ahead of you, and it's faster than you by quite a bit.
Oh no!
So now, for the rest of you, Willard didn't really. I mean, he's got a candle in a dark passageway, right? So it's pretty easy to see where he is and how far away he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's still within sight, so he hasn't turned too far away. He took the left, but it's still you can kind of see just the glow of the candle that direction. And then it just starts booking its way back your direction. The candlelight does.
Mm-hmm.
And as he comes around the corner, you can see him, and you can see this large, obviously man-sized spider thing closing rapidly on him. It's definitely
All right,
going to
Gundyr.
get to him before he gets to the spider webs.
Well, we have at least one elf here who is likely very good with their bow. So,
I'm gonna-
Glariel.
Can I see the exit of the thing?
Yes.
I'm gonna throw the candle down.
Right.
I'm going to throw a spear at it.
Hey!
shoot an arrow.
Okay, so everybody who's shooting ranged weapons through the spider web, I assume you're trying not to hit the spider web for two reasons. But
Yep.
so you'll be at, I'll just call it disadvantage on your missile rolls. And Gliril is also shooting, right? Okay, well, Glirial hit. So one arrow slams into the spider behind you there, will it?
Woo! Will I get an action here?
Yes, although I assumed that like the throwing down is kind of like a stealth hide action that you're gonna do. Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Okay, nope. Feel free to roll your stealth then. It's gonna be distracted and you are trying.
And we have
you're gonna-
advantage on this thing, right?
You do.
So I throw spears with advantage. So now I'm just at flat roll, right?
Yes.
All right. I got a 26.
Okay, that hits.
All right, cool.
So roll some damage, Kellyan.
I do auto max damage, which is 7.
An unnatural 20.
Wait.
Max damage should be higher than 7 there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's straight. I was looking at something different. It should be 10.
10. Yeah. Okay. Kellyan, you hit as well. You do at least 2 points of damage, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Willett, as you like hide it in there, and the spider like leaps at you, and it gets hit with an arrow and a spear and another arrow, and it collapses to the ground, twitching and spewing, and with ichor slowly falling out of it. But it does not appear to be much in the alive category anymore.
Oh, we're supposed to capture these.
Well, we
So-
only want to capture a baby. We
Does
don't want
this
to
look
make
like a
clones.
baby to you?
Is this a baby?
No.
It's Gundyr, sorry.
Well, I don't know what their baby size is. Maybe we brought a jar way
This
too small.
doesn't fit into a jar.
It does not fit into a jar.
Maybe a bigger one would be more advantageous.
We could clip off like the end of its. We could take some mandibles and like some
Well,
test.
I roll my sleeves up.
Good.
Let me take a look, and then we can decide what we want to take back.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
other
Hey,
side of
Willett, why don't you roll perception for me?
Oh,
No reason.
no reason.
What am I doing? What?
Perception.
Ah, 23.
Okay. You get the sense that you're not alone on this side of the web.
Ah.
But whatever it is being a little less like chargy. You know, that
Guys?
feeling you get when you're being stalked by a wild animal, but you haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, that familiar feeling.
Well, you're feeling it for the first time, but you're pretty confident in it.
Ah, this is what this feels like. Ah. Guys? And I slowly back away, back towards my companions.
perception.
For those of you who can see in the dark,
Oh.
yes, roll perception.
Someone give me that spear.
17.
22.
Uh, 22. That's good enough. 17 is not. Oh, I guess the other person who can see in the dark is, controlled by me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 1. Anyways, so Gundyr,
Yeah.
She's distracted by my manliness.
how can I get his spear back?
How can I get
The,
this spear back? Oh, shit.
There's, I guess, plenty of opportunities for phallic comments in all fantasy role-playing. But anyways, the Gundyr, you absolutely see something large, like larger than the thing you get shot, creeping out of that passage to the right that Willa did not take. And it's doing
Okay.
it like on the ceiling kind of thing. So you're gonna guess that it's something that can climb on ceilings.
Yep.
It's way bigger than a jar.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
About
I'm
3
gonna
times
run,
the size of
I'm
the other
gonna
one. Anyways.
run into the tunnel and I'm going to grab Willett.
Oh,
Okay, so you've got an axe, right? So you axe your way through the webs, and you
Yep.
run that direction. Grab
Oh, shit.
Willett.
Willett, you gotta get out of here, man.
At which point, the
Well,
as
crap.
soon as he
And I
hits,
get my sword back instead.
I mean, as soon as he hits the web, there's some more scurrying in the distance. But Gunder's pretty fast, right? So you grab Willett and you go back.
Whoop.
And when he yeah, you come back as we'll probably roll some initiative.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I'm thinking.
Ah, dang.
I was not gonna let Willett
All
be
right.
a spider.
It's not half bad.
So the highest I've got over here is 18.
Ooh,
That's what I got.
19.
Gunder, your action is pretty much you get back with Willard.
Mm-hmm.
Did
I
you grab my spear?
I get back with Willard. I kind of toss him behind me, and then I just get my axe ready because shit's about to go down.
Well, as you turn around, you actually can see some more of the like Gundyr-sized spiders scurrying your direction. Looks like maybe 3 of them.
I don't
boy.
appreciate how I've been used as a measurement.
Don't go for light.
I appreciate it. It was very helpful.
I mean, it definitely allows me to understand the gravitas of the situation, but
I assume you don't. They're still at range at the moment. So
I'm
just
preparing an action to swing as soon as one gets into range.
yeah, protecting Willard. Allred, you are an 18 too.
Yeah, I'll put that shield in front of me and take out my sword, I guess, and also wait for one of them to come at me.
It does look like that you've drawn them to you at this point, so
Yep.
that's a likely thing.
Yeah, I'll
to
stand
come.
next to Gundyr there
All right,
and shield poor little Willard. I'm not sure I can see anything. I just know something's coming.
Well, yeah, something is most definitely coming, and if it enters your field of vision, which it will, swing and hit it.
Okay, so Gundyr, some webs shoot out of the darkness at you from the large thing. Your armor class is better than 10, right?
Yes, it is.
So you avoid the webs as they like stick to the ceiling and around that area, and you are not entangled by them. But it does make the whole area a little bit harder to move in.
Right.
17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
Guys.
Okay, on 11, Gliriel gets to shoot twice at one of the spiders coming this direction.
Twice?
Yeah, she can attack twice, because she's high enough level. She
Dang.
totally hits. She got like a 28 and a 23. And does... punctures one of them but does not kill it. Hits it twice as it comes that direction. At which point, the 3 smaller spiders charge your direction. For those, so Allred,
Yeah.
I'll assume that you're going to hit one of them as it jumps on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it my best.
Okay, give me a swing.
All right, a 25 should do it, right?
Yes.
Right. Longsword damage. Let's see how well I do. 11 points of damage. That's not bad.
Since that had 2 arrows in it, because she was shooting at the first one, right? You actually slice it in half, kind of thing, or slice some part of its thorax with a couple of legs off.
Wow.
We make such a good team.
It goes down. Yeah, look at that. Gliriel and Allred working together.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other 2 jump on people. Gundyr, you're being jumped on.
Oh, well, I've got a prepared action to hit it. So.
Oh yeah, you should probably hit it as it leaps at you.
I'm most definitely going to do that. That's going to be... that's going to be 20 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Ooh, nice. That's going to be max damage for 16 points of damage.
Okay, that does not kill it,
Woo.
but you probably sliced off 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really need those anyways.
Right. I mean, he doesn't need all the legs, so, grab this one.
These ones have that stinger on the back as well as a bite,
Oh,
so it's
jeez.
tempting to sting you.
All right.
I don't think 15 does it, right?
Nope.
So you fend that off. As the third one also leaps through the hole. I mean, I kind of get the feeling like Gundyr and Allred, you basically covered that
Yeah.
hole made in
Yeah,
there. So it's going to be
Yeah.
jumping on you two.
It's either going to be one of those.
I will roll randomly, and it is Allred.
Okay.
Allred, 14 probably doesn't
Nope.
hit you.
Nope. Hits my shield.
So
You
that's
guys are all
it.
badasses.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. At which point, that's 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, Kellyan.
Sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot I wasn't on that thing. But yes, I'm at 8.
We were both at 8.
Ooh. So you're probably the most dexterous of us, right? You're what? Where are you at?
Maybe. But you can go first if you want.
Yeah, Kellyan, I assume you've got your bow out.
Yep, and I have an extra attack too, so let me roll. All right, that's an 18, 19, 20, 24 for the
Doing
first,
good.
and then a 25 for the other one.
You get to roll damage twice. Which one are you shooting? The one on Allred or the one on Gundyr?
The one on all red.
Okay.
What are you pitying me? What do you think I'm not as tough as this guy?
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's saying.
Okay.
all right, 4. So that first one is 9. It's 8. 9, 10. The other one 13. Oh, 14, 15. Sorry, I forgot to add the +2 for damage. So +4.
So yeah, you it's already no, that's not the one that's already hurt. But you managed to finish it off with some well placed point blank arrows there, or near point blank. And that leaves just Willid. And well, I mean Nestriel too, but
It's okay.
I get tossed back by Gundyr. There's some fighting. I roll over. I'm going to pull out my bow and find a nice dark little corner to hide behind and then give a shot.
take your shot.
It's a 26 on my stealth. Was that a success? Do I get advantage on my roll?
That is enough to stealth yourself from spiders, or at least the one you're shooting at, which is the important one.
Cool. And then with that attack, I get a 25.
I feel confident you'll do 8 points of damage with your sneak attack, right?
That is very likely, yes.
Okay, well, roll some dice and tell me if it's not that. Let me know, but I will continue with the Willid, kills off another one. Nestriel.
Got a natural one on my initiative. It's great.
Woo!
Is there anything still alive? That
Spiders
needs to
are
be
really
hit?
scary, but it looks like these people are really good at taking out spiders. They could have used them in Mirkwood.
Would have been
For
would
sure.
have been nice. Feel bad for Legolas. I am gonna light a torch so that we can all see, especially the 2 out of 4 combat people that need light.
Sure. You light the torch, which lets you all see the kind of the the foul, horrible spider lurking in the darkness behind the webs that you've not shot at yet. It's bloated, ugly looking. The torchlight reflects in its eyes, and as you look at it, you all need to make a fear check.
Oh shit! Sorry, team.
Damn it.
Oh, thanks. I can see. Oh no.
Oh,
That's
shit,
a
we can
wisdom
see.
save.
No, what is that? Like a whale?
Is
Wisdom.
this
Wisdom save.
wisdom?
Yeah.
Can this be a constitution?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Target number is 15. Let me know how it goes.
21.
I got a 17.
I am unafraid.
I
Or
got
at
a
least
16.
not weeing myself.
You can still fight it. It's still gross, but you can still fight it.
I got
Kelly, and that's a
11.
face.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it was a one guy.
You got what?
I rolled a one.
Oh,
Yep.
I can't help you with that.
Nope.
So, Killian, you haven't had spent as much time with giant spiders as some of the rest of them have.
No, not.
I got that you rolled badly, right? Did I miss that? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
She rolled a 1.
That's what I thought. And you, as you see that, it's like one of your nightmares returning or something along that nature. And
PTSD.
you feel, and it's not just the spider. You can kind of feel like there's a dark aura around it that chills you to the bone, and you become frightened, very frightened, and start
gosh,
running back.
I'm so glad we can see it now.
Right.
I didn't know that would happen.
Willard, you also did you make it, or did you get an 11?
I got an 11.
That's what I heard. Yeah. So you are also frightened, although probably not quite as much as Kellyan. And for a couple of turns. What is it? Oh, until you make a save.
Sorry, team.
The rest of you can see it in all of its glory and start shooting it, or whatever you want to do to it at the top of the next round. But it turns out only Gundyr and Allred are ahead of it in initiative, and they don't have missile weapons. Gundyr, it's now your turn.
I will. Wait. There's still a spider in front of me, so I gotta kill that one.
Wait, did Willard kill that one?
No, Willard did kill it, the one that was on you, Gundyr. All three of the spiders got killed.
Good. Okay, then I will use this to prepare my action to hit this thing as soon as it gets in range, because it's coming.
Sure. Allred, are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll look over my shoulder and be like, I think maybe we should leave.
Don't be a coward.
So on its action on 18, it slinks back into the darkness. It does not come forward.
What?
And you can kind of see its dark mass disappear around the corner, much to Willard and Kellyan's relief.
Yeah, you better run.
Yes, I'm sure it ran because it's terrified of you.
I mean, why else would it run away?
Probably for a much worse reason than attacking us.
Okay, it is end time here. Do we want to continue one more scene with the spiders, or do we want to call it an evening?
We might as well continue.
Let's go.
Either way, you guys get to talk about what you're going to do next, and maybe that's more important. But what's the plan now that you stood here and fought off the first wave of spiders? You have lots of specimens, but all of them seem to be dead for various reasons.
Yes, so we press forward.
The thing, not where that went.
Was that? I'm assuming was that spider unusually large in comparison to the ones we've just fought?
Yes. From your perspective, it was pretty close to the size of that spider queen you fought, maybe a little bit smaller.
Oh, hey guys, that was either Shelob's direct descendant, or is she Lob herself?
Let's go with direct descendant.
That's great.
You guys.
know? I'm so happy we know that now.
All I know is that I am not as afraid as Kellyanne is, and that makes me afraid.
Willard, that is a good intuition.
That thing knows that we're here.
Yes.
Nope.
So Kellyanne, I'm going to go up to you and I'm going to take one of your hands and I'm going to whisper to you probably helpful things.
Whisper
And as
straight
long
into
as
your-
we do this for a specific amount of time, you are no longer afeared.
Yay!
Because I can
Don't
do
be
that.
afraid.
Yay!
It's one of the
Comforting
few
word.
conditions I can cure. So
Talk me out of my PTSD.
Yeah,
Yep.
you go ahead and talk her out of that PTSD.
Gundyr, I think you know what we have to do.
Go in there and kick the shit out of that thing.
No, not that thing. But we need to make a run for it.
Oh, run in and yeah.
Run in,
absolutely.
snatch, go.
Yeah, let's do that. Fuck yeah, I'll lead the way.
Gundyr, can you come here for a minute?
We don't have a lot of time here.
Hold on a second. What's up?
I will go up to the side of your warg helmet and tell you about a time that I remember when you were particularly valorous on my behalf in the time that we've known each other, and you can have
mean
a
like a minute
D6,
ago?
a D6 inspiration dice.
Hell yeah, I remember that. Let's go in
Wow.
and do this.
That really happened?
It did happen.
Wow.
He's been an incredible friend to me over the 5 years that we've known each other.
Nestriel, will
One of my only friends.
you follow us with a light?
Yes.
It may be useful to burn away some of the cobwebs.
Yes.
Mm.
Willard, can I have the jar?
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Kellyanne, perhaps you and Gliriel should guard the entrance, protect it for our retreat.
Yeah. Yep. I can do that.
Excellent.
I will whisper to you and Sindarin, you are stronger than this. I believe in you. And then squeeze your hand and we go.
Okay, so Gundar and Allred lead the way with the goal of snatch and grab.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, to make it the short work of that, do you go down the passageway the big spider went, or back the way the other?
Hell no.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure Gundyr turns that way and I just grab him and pull him a different way.
Man, it's like you read my mind.
No.
No, we're not going that. But that's where the big. Fine, let's go this way then. Yeah.
So you get a little ways down there, and before too long, you do in fact encounter one of the Gundyr-sized spiders, and you do something to trigger it so it starts heading your direction, and I assume you're going to try and grab it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and grapple this thing.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right, we're going to have a grapple roll against the spider.
This is stupid, but I'm doing it.
Maybe we need to get some rope ready instead of a jar.
You do have some rope.
Yep.
I'm curious.
I also have rope.
This thing ain't gonna fit into a jar, so we're just gonna have to
Nope.
like hog tie this spider.
But he said to get him a baby spider, not a big one.
Well, too
He
bad.
will take what he gets and be happy for it.
Okay.
It's gonna- we can't find a baby spider. This is what we can find. I mean, obviously.
I would rather face him than face more of these.
Fair enough. Willard, I have some rope. Will you help me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so Gundyr, roll initiative for me to see if you grab it before it gets a shot at you.
Luckily.
Okay,
I
I am assisting Gundyr in this grapple attempt like a madman.
Okay,
my initiative is a 20.
you roll initiative for me as well, Allred.
I didn't do so well. I only got an 8.
Okay, so Gundyr, you do grab it before it tries to stab you, or whatever it does.
Right. I'm
So give me a
basically trying
grapple.
to- I'm trying to grapple its mandibles, I guess. Trying to drag it to the down.
I mean, to be fair, its mandibles are about like the size of your hand, so you could like, you know, grab it and like mouth wrestle it or whatever that is.
That sounds mouth
That,
wrestle,
is,
huh?
that sounds very different.
Gonna be a 24.
That's
Okay,
a good
well,
roll.
that will obviously succeed on your attempt to grab it. You have grabbed it. It's about the same size as you. It does. You do appear to feel a little bit stronger than it.
Oh, good.
Woo! Quick, Alfred, break its legs.
Somebody tie its legs up.
Okay. Yeah. So now, Allred, you're gonna be grabbing it, and everybody who's tying it up, just give me a roll. If you're proficient in rope, which I assume means you're proficient in survival, you can use that.
Yeah, 'cause this isn't 3-5 where use rope as a skill.
That's correct. Meanwhile, it's trying to bite Gundyr, probably successfully. That looks like a 21.
Yeah, that'll
Ooh.
definitely hit.
Um,
And you die.
I can take it.
it only does 3 points of poison damage, but you have to make a Constitution save, as you might have
You got
expected.
that. You're good at that.
I mean, that's fair. Let me just take the damage here with that. Yeah, all right, let's make that con save.
I believe in you, buddy.
Ooh, that's pretty good. 24.
Okay, well, at the moment, you seem to be fine.
At the moment.
Never get stabbed. Okay.
As it just starts, I got some venom in my arm. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Get
Keep
stung
tying
is
it
the
up.
right word there. How did survival roll goes for everybody? Nestriel?
17.
Oh, that's good. Willid, you're not involved in this, no? Or you are?
I'm helping, but I'm not proficient in
Okay.
survival. I'm proficient in herbalism, wood carving, gardening, thieves' tools.
You do have
Kellyanne?
at least 2 d6s.
Oh yeah, I haven't used those yet. We're
Yeah.
gonna use them. I'm gonna do this. Let's do
Oh,
this.
so you get inspired, and from your scholarly knowledge, you know how to tie up spiders.
Yep.
Which is good, because none of
Oh.
us know how to tie up a spider. We
Yeah.
have no idea how to.
It's a weird thing. Don't ask how I know.
I guess if you get the rope wrapped around each of the legs, and then you like wrap it around the
Mhm.
body, something like that's going on.
What modifier are we using?
Wisdom, I believe, for
Yeah.
rope for that.
That makes mine a 20.
16.
Okay, that's good. Kellyanne, you were involved in that too, or did you stay back?
I think she's.
I was too terrified. I stayed back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And
There
Allred,
we go.
I'm helping to grapple the spider.
you're trying to like
Oh,
help restrain it so that it's not
Yeah.
minimize its stuff now. Okay. Between the two of you, it's now at least at disadvantage, and you guys have got some ropes tied on it. But it's tough. It's got like 8 legs.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't need to be tied up.
It has approximately 8 legs.
So I'm going to say you've got 3 of the legs pretty much pinned with rope at this point. 5 to go.
Oh.
Gundyr and Alred are mostly
Alright.
just holding on to it. So
Yep.
Mhm.
it's going to try and we'll see if it breaks out. So Gundyr and Alred, one of you needs to make a strength roll that beats a 15.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll enter a battle fury just to help here.
I think you get advantage on that
Yeah.
check then.
Uh,
Yeah, if you roll Battle Fury. Yeah, I mean, I got.
Might as well.
Yeah, I got a 22.
okay, yeah, you guys have got this thing. It's at disadvantage now. It's still mostly focusing on Gundyr because that's where it started. I don't think Yeah, no, a 10's not. No, excuse me, 12 is not going to do it.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
So you do in fact manage to not get bit or stabbed at this moment. Uh,
Yay!
while Nestriel and Willett get 3 more, so it's almost there. Now it's pretty easy to hold. Um, it's going to get 1 more attempt to sting. Does an 18 sting you, Gunder?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it
so
does.
it gets 1 last sting in there. Roll your con save and 3 points of damage.
All right. All right. Well, my Constitution saves a 15.
I think that is just enough.
Phew.
So, yeah, you're feeling pretty woozy, but you're still holding on to him. And at which point, or the gender of the spider is way not known.
Right. I don't know. I didn't bother to ask the
I mean,
spider for
to
its
be fair,
gender.
Saruman might be able to answer that question
Yes.
I
because
Yeah.
he
I
studied
don't
them.
think we want him to.
What if we don't want to be fair?
uh, so at this point, basically, you guys have a spider with more or less a ball of rope
Perfect.
and kind
Let's
of twitching
flee.
in a ball
Yay.
of rope.
Let's flee at maximum speed.
There is totally you can totally like, especially because it's dark and you have this like kind of fear of spiders and stuff, and there was lots of noise. You just feel like they're scuttling everywhere at the moment.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna make a point, if I can get to it, to grab my spear on the way out.
It's on the way.
Okay. There's a good reason for this,
Yeah.
aside from killing things.
So Gundyr and Allred grab the ball rope spider, the
Yep.
new variety of spider you found, and drag it back out with them at high speeds. And he grabs his spear, and you guys get up to the landing where the sunlight is. And you feel pretty confident that none of the spiders are going to follow you out into the sunlight. So you stop there.
Yeah, we'll use the spear to sling the spider between me and Gundyr to carry it between us.
So
Yeah.
the fun part is that you now get to carry a live ball-wrapped rope spider down the endless stair,
Yeah.
which is exceedingly steep and narrow and difficult to climb.
Yeah.
And I will say more difficult when carrying a live giant spider.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Mhm.
confident in my assertion. But you guys aren't spending much time thinking about it. You're headed down the hill.
That's right.
So, question: does the spider go first or does it go last?
First.
I think we should go first. Me and Gundyr lead the way.
I think we should go first.
How long of a fall can you guys survive? Never mind. I won't ask. I don't really want to know.
Oh boy.
Probably at least 30 feet.
So,
Can I rage before I hit the ground?
Double fury!
so this is acrobatics.
Oh,
Down the
no.
hill. Yeah. So, give me some
Oh,
rolls.
nat 20.
Gonna tell you both a different story, one each.
When you didn't
About
Can I spend my own? Go ahead.
keep your balance. So
Yeah.
additional d6s.
Can I spend my own inspiration on that?
Yes, you can spend your own inspiration on that.
And that's what a
In
D6,
fact, I
right?
recommend it. No, it's advantage when you spend inspiration.
Oh, it's advantage. That's even better. Oh, wow.
Yes, it is.
So advantage plus a D6? That's fantastic.
What could go wrong?
Got this.
Oh.
Double one.
I mean, I got a 20 total.
Okay.
Nice.
So difficulty was 12 on the way up, but I think that it's gotten a little higher with Spider. So,
Yep.
Oh, yeah, much more difficult on the way down.
Gundyr, you haven't told me your number yet, so I'm kind of curious.
Well, I rolled a nat 20, and then I added a d6, which I rolled a 6 for that, so I'm at a
Wow.
28.
Oh.
Climb down.
Wow.
It's like you guys have
means
done
it-
this before.
Me and Gundyr are just sprinting down with this freaking spider.
Hey!
Okay,
Hey,
so
wait for us!
if we just kind of slide down, it'll work, right?
That's right.
We use the spider as a makeshift sled, and then we get to
It's actually like a counterweight. It's working great.
You just don't want to like
Yeah.
land on the spider at the bottom. That's messy.
It's true.
right.
It
As long
defeats
as we
the
don't
whole
land
purpose.
the spider at the bottom.
Okay, there we
I think
are.
both move is 40, right?
Mm.
You have they're way ahead of the rest of you in case that's relevant. Who are taking it cautiously down the hill.
Look, I
But
don't
you
know how
eventually-
long I'm going to be conscious because I still have spider venom in me. So
Ooh.
I gotta hurry this up.
Eventually you guys get to the bottom where Gundyr and Alred are waiting with like spider propped up against the wall. It's kind of like twitching. Still seems alive.
We're probably high-fiving and flexing. Ugh, yeah.
There's at this point there's like a small patrol that's headed into Mordor that's just returning, and they're like coming along and they like look over the side of the road there and they see the lot of you, and they're like they look at you and then they look at the spider tied up with ropes. They look back. They say nothing, and they keep walking.
Yeah, you guys have a great day.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day.
I mean, they could help us carry it.
What? No, I don't think that's a patrol we want to invite over.
Nope. Nope, it is not.
Okay, so with that, that's a pretty good stopping point for us as before you take it to Saruman for next session. So we will stop there. We are late, so I'm not going to do any end of things anyways. It'll be good for us to start next time with what our favorite thing was from this time. There might be some silly things that happened.
There may have been.
And so then we will see everybody next time. Thank you, everyone who stuck with the Great Spider Heist.
That's right.
I mean, it didn't feel as much like a heist. This really was a snatch and grab, right? Which is a little different.
Yeah, we tried to do the heist. Didn't work.
It's more like a Fast and Furious with spiders.
Right.
And no cars.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, everyone. And we will see you next time.
Peace.